recruit from the class of 2026 decommits. We'll have that story coming up in just a few minutes as well. You guys, Dave and Nick, you were on the J&K Security Solutions basketball postgame show last night. It was at Campbell University. Is that what we determined it was?
Yes, the Campbell Fighting Camels.
Okay. How'd that go?
It was good. Wisconsin, I mean, they were playing a little bit close there with about 8 minutes to go in the second half. And then Wisconsin turned on the afterburners and they went on a 29-2 run to finish out the game. And they end up winning by 32, 96-64. So it was a nice big blowout win. They did cover. That is the important part to some and
to some.
to some. And yeah, Wisconsin's able to start the season with a win.
Yeah, a lot of great moments last night. John Blackwell, a couple of opportunities for and ones, put back dunk by Nolan Winter, another dunking transition by Winter. I mean, you felt the crowd come alive a little bit more than you did certainly against UW Platteville. And I think this Nick Boyd dude is an electric factory, as Billy likes to say out there. I mean, he is a guy that brings electricity to this lineup. His pace is exceptional, maybe even too fast for head coach Greg Gard, but it's a valuable weapon to have. And last night was a good time.
The Bucks coming away with a 2-point win thanks to Giannis's last second shot, 117-115. Giannis 33 points on the night and 13 rebounds. It was the return of Miles Turner, got booed, didn't have a great night. 9 points, 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 6 from beyond the arc. That was okay. 7 rebounds in 32 minutes. Not his best performance, but I don't know if he was rattled or if it was just emotional for him, but he spent 10 years of his career there and they turned hard on him.
Yeah, it seems a little unfair considering that when he was leaving and all the things that he did, take pay cuts, deal with trade rumors, all of that. And then the way the Pacers lowballed him in free agency, they should be more mad at the Pacers, but instead taking out their frustrations on Miles Turner to begin with. I thought that was completely unfair for him. But the Bucks-Pacers rivalry is something that has really grown quite a bit in recent years. And I think this added another level to it. And for the Pacers fans, I think that's something where they just look at it as like you just went to the mortal enemy. So regardless of whether or not the team did him wrong, they're still going to boo him because he's on the Bucks sideline. But I thought that was terrible.
Well,
go ahead.
I do want to
I think Nick might be going where I'm going with this.
By the same argument, should Craig Counsell have not been booed?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that was what I saw last night. I saw someone put out, I think cheekily, that, this is how Milwaukee fans treat our own. And it was the return of Willy Adames this season. And it was, look at the round of applause. Look how strong these fans are. Look how much we give back to the guys that gave to us.
And then
Counsell gets booed every day.
Cut to Craig Counsell.
Yeah. Although, I mean, that was him not necessarily getting lowballed. It was him taking a job that was not even open. Yeah.
Paid him more.
Yeah.
Lowballed in comparison.
Craig Counsell wasn't lowballed in Milwaukee.
No, he was not lowballed. Miles Turner was lowballed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what if he came back to Milwaukee with the offer from the Cubs? I think he got lowballed then. If he said, this is what the Cubs are offering me.
I don't think he got lowballed, but he got more money from the Cubs. And I think he wanted a different opportunity. All I would say is it's not unprecedented for any Brewers fan or any Milwaukee fan or any Wisconsin sports fan who's thinking of taking the high road here. I've got receipts. Ask Paul Molitor about receipts when he came back with the Blue Jays, because the Brewers did lowball him.
Yeah.
And he got twice as much money in Toronto that he would get with the Brewers when Bud Selig and Sal Bando lowballed him after the 92 season. And Paul Molitor comes back. Team hero, was one of the architects along with Robin Yount, and there were others. Certainly Cecil Cooper was part of that. Earlier it was Ben Ogilvy. I mean, you can go through the whole lineup as well. Jim Gantner, huge part of it, 100%. All of that. Pete Vukovich, Cy Young Award winner, Raleigh Fingers, Cy Young, whatever. Paul Molitor comes back after getting lowballed by Sal Bando and Bud Selig. Comes back in a Toronto Blue Jays uniform, wearing number 19, mind you, to honor his former teammate Robin Yount, to honor the decade plus that he spent in Milwaukee, turning himself into a Hall of Fame player, despite the fact that you knew when he was going into the Hall of Fame, he was going to be wearing a Brewers emblem on his cap, which is still there and will forever be there in Cooperstown. And when he stepped to the plate at County Stadium, 1993, Blue Jays uniform. Boo! So don't give me that crap about, well, we're above all of this. No, you're not. No one is. That's sports fandom. I'm not saying that you're necessarily it's not just Milwaukee. It's not just Indiana. It's just sports fandom. And Miles Turner got hurt by it. I'm sure Paul Molitor was hurt by it too. If you're traded away, that's one thing, and you're a conquering hero. And I know that wasn't the case with Willy Adames, but he went to the Giants. He didn't go to the Cubs, and he didn't go to the hated rival or anything like that. But sports fandom, if you make the decision that's best for you and your family, you're gonna maybe face it on the other side. And no one's above that, and that includes Milwaukee fans. Sorry, got the receipts.
But last night, nonetheless, Miles Turner, it felt like was treated unfairly. And
I thought he was. I think everyone's treated unfairly when they come back and do that.
That's right. Unless you're like, you burn every bridge on the way out, right?
Sure.
I mean,
yeah. Which is not what he did.
A great example. Who would have done that?
Gary Sheffield burned every bridge on the way out.
Well,
if we're talking old-time Brewers
leaving. Well, there. I mean,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he burned bridges in the clubhouse as he was an active member of the team. It's tough. And Miles Turner's the guy that I guess to go back to the Batman conversation we had on Friday, I've said he's Alfred. He is Alfred. He's not Robin. Giannis is Batman. We need to figure out who that number 2 is going to be on the offensive side. Maybe it's Ryan Rollins. Maybe his emergence ends up being a career emergence. But at this point, you feel Giannis is that guy, and Miles Turner can have nights like this where they still win. It's pretty important to figure out where we're going to find that number 2 value. And he's a hell of a third option if that's the reality. I don't mean to disparage him, but I just think they need more. And last night showed that they don't necessarily have the ability to count on him to even get double digits on a given night.
So the Bucks, they come away with a win. We've got still to come on today's show. We will hear from Matt LaFleur. We will hear from Luke Fickell. Nick Osen, as I mentioned, is going to join us as well. And speaking of the Brewers, they made some decisions, as they have to make some decisions as well on maybe their 2 best pitchers. And I'm not surprised necessarily by either one. I mean, extending Freddie Peralta, that was going to happen. I think everybody knew that. The Brewers, they picked up his $8 million club option for next year. Brandon Woodruff declined his end of the $20 million mutual option as well. Also, Danny Jansen, they didn't pick up Appleton, heaven sent team savior, Danny Jansen's $12 million mutual option. So he's going to be a free agent. Not necessarily surprising. You're not going to pay $12 million for a backup catcher, probably.
No.
But Brandon Woodruff declined his end of the $20 million mutual option. Now, part of that was the fact that the Brewers would have to pay a $10 million buyout for that. So now that kind of resets the clock. I don't know what the open market is for Brandon Woodruff right now, because when healthy, he's great. Now, that first part of that, though, is when healthy.
When healthy, yeah, that is a problem, especially for a pitcher on the wrong side of 30, coming off such a major shoulder surgery. But he came back from it pretty well. Now, granted, the velocity was a little bit diminished. You can maybe get a little bit more of that coming back as he gets further away from the surgery. But I think the market for Brandon Woodruff, I think there's going to be a pretty decent one out there for him. I think he can get a 2, maybe 3-year deal at most out there on the open market, because he's going to be heading into his age 33 season, I believe. So I think 3 years is a fairly reasonable expectation for him. I don't think 4 years is anything he's going to be able to get, but I think he's looking for that multi-year deal, trying to cash in a little bit while he still can. 2 or 3 years is something I would expect that he would find, and that's also something I'd expect the Brewers to be willing to do. The Brewers aren't going to be likely to go longer than 3 years for any pitcher like that at that age with that kind of experience. They're not likely to go that many more years, but I could see the Brewers bringing him back a 2 or 3 year deal. And I think that's going to be around the range that most other teams are looking at for him as well.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think it's an emotional decision one way or the other, knowing what he has been and who he is as a human being. What he's a leader in that clubhouse, it's obvious. Even when he's not healthy, he's a guy people lean on. His words mean more, knowing his experience with the franchise. Selfishly, as a Cubs fan, I would love to see him in a Cubs uniform. I think most franchises would want to see him in their uniform because of his ability when healthy. It's all about the price. It's all about the dollar sign, what they're going to be able to afford, what they're going to be willing to offer him. You're right. He'll be 33, as I was fairly certain you knew that and you nailed it. And the Cubs move off of Shota potentially. I mean, they declined his option. He's going to he'll hit the open market. I'm sure they'll extend the qualifying offer, but like, I don't know if I saw anything outside of injury players yesterday opt into contracts. I saw Lourdes Gurriel, who's coming off of a catastrophic knee injury, opt in to stay with the Diamondbacks, but I saw almost unanimously across the board opt-outs from a player perspective, which makes sense because I think we're forecasting a work stoppage in 2 years and grandfathering in contracts potentially.
Yeah.
So guys are going to want to get paid now as much as possible.
There's no potentially. Every contract that's signed will be honored. I mean, that's just that they're never going to roll that back. That's set in
I
stone.
Guess if I
Yeah.
reformulated that via like in text, writing it down, but potentially was in reference to the stoppage.
The Brewers have so I think that, in my opinion, here's what I think is going to happen. The Brewers, in my opinion, will probably extend the qualifying offer of just over $22 million to Woodruff. They have until November 6th, so that's a couple of days from now. If he declines and signs elsewhere, the Brewers get a compensation pick. They've done very well with those. Rhys Hoskins, Jose Quintana, and William Contreras, they've got options as well. Looks like all three will get declined. That will make Hoskins and Quintana instant free agents. Contreras, he's still arbitration eligible, so he's still under control, as they say.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll figure something out, because William Contreras, I mean, he's been such an important part of this team, offensively, defensively, the way that he handles pitchers, just the way that, he's a clubhouse leader. He's just one of those guys that he's a glue guy right now, honestly, as well as someone who is enormously talented. The flip side of that, though, is at some point when you get past a certain age as a catcher, how much does your value diminish? Because that's such a demanding position and he plays it so well. But again, you're not seeing 35-year-old catchers anymore. I'm not saying he's there yet by a long shot, but I'm just saying at some point you move him away from that position. But while you have the opportunity to keep him there, he's just
first base.
He's just
year.
hard.
Well,
he's just hard to, or DH. He's just hard to, think of the Brewers without right now, because he's been so good.
Yeah, and that's the tough part too, because you had the club option for $12 million, and because he had a bit of a down season, especially through that first half, you'd think maybe his arbitration number could come in.
Though.
Yeah, the finger is definitely a problem as well. And, is he going to get surgery on that? We still haven't exactly heard what he's going to do. We knew he was seeing a hand specialist. Haven't heard an update yet on what Contreras is deciding to do. He may just opt to go with rest and hope that it ends up getting better. But you could decline that option, take him to arbitration again, and get him for a slightly lower number than that $12 million, because you got to save the money where you can. If you can get them for $10 million instead of $12 million, why wouldn't you do that if you're the Brewers? Because you have to worry about that $2 million difference. You can't just be like the Dodgers and just like, $2 million, whatever. We'll just go with it.
I'm going to challenge you on that. $2 million. Yeah. If it's a difference between $2 million, you pay it. Sorry. That's the cost of doing business in Major League Baseball now. $2 million is a ton of money to you, me, Nick, everybody here.
Yeah.
Everybody who's listening right now, $2 million is a ton of money. It's just not to a major league team. And if you can't pony that up, I'm sorry. What they did with Corbin Burns a couple of years ago, I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, in the scope of Major League Baseball, it's a drop in the bucket, a few $100,000. I know it's a lot of money to everyone else in the world, but you can't do that if you're going to operate a Major League Baseball team that is expected to compete. If it's the difference between $2 million for a player that makes that much difference, sorry, you pay it. That's the cost of doing business, whether you're in market 33 or if in your market 1. So with the way that revenue sharing is right now, I know it all adds up. I get all of that. But when you're talking about somebody who's that important to the end product, you do it.
I don't disagree with you at all, Doug. I think that that's a very important point, and I would love for that to be the way that the Brewers end up operating, just based on history and what I've seen, I think the Brewers are going to they're going to try and shave that money where they can, and then use that $2 million for whatever else maybe that they have to. Just based on how I've seen them operate, that's what I think they're going to do. I would much rather just pay him as well. I would much rather that just be the case, but it is certainly going to be tough for the Brewers, and you don't want to take your starting catcher into an arbitration battle. Now, they filed with him last year, but they were able to settle before going to a trial because those trials are ugly.
That's typical, right? And so when they do go to a trial,
it's brutal.
It's
ugly.
It's awful because they
went there with Burns, and then Burns said, "Wow, like I'm hurt by all this."
And I don't think that they got the best out of Corbin Burns.
Yeah.
From that, whether or not the Brewers are right doesn't matter. I mean, what sometimes you take away, it's kind of like when David Stearns traded away Josh Hader at the deadline. On paper, did it make sense? Sure. Did it wind up hurting the team from a performance standpoint? You can make the argument that it didn't. But also, and maybe this is, I would say, the fault of David Stearns to an extent, is that baseball games aren't played by computers. They're not played by robots. They're played by human beings. And I hope that the Brewers, now that David Stearns is gone and Matt Arnold is the president of baseball operations, a much-deserved promotion for him. He's done a marvelous job. In my mind, he's the executive of the year, Major League Baseball again this year. That having been said, I hope that there is an understanding that you're dealing with human beings that have human emotions. And when you're dealing with human beings that have human emotions, when you take them to a court hearing and you tell them before the hearing, you're really valuable to us. We want to keep you here. We want to do everything that we can to keep you here. And then you go into a room and then you insult the player to a panel of air quotes judges.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you supposed to feel about that? Most agents tell their clients to not attend the hearing because stuff gets personal.
Yeah.
But if I'm a player, you know what? If you're going to MF me behind my back, just do it to my face.
Yeah, say it to my face.
Say it to my, you got something to say it to my face.
Yeah.
And I would anticipate that if they do have to go to a hearing with William Contreras, and I hope they don't, it could get ugly. William Contreras could get feelings hurt because, again, we're talking about human beings. And nobody wants that. So figure it out.
Yeah, and I think the Brewers have learned a little bit about that too over the last couple of years with the Corbin Burns situation, with the Josh Hader situation as well, because that hearing changed things in terms of how Hader operated. So last year they were able to settle right beforehand, and I think this year, I think Matt Arnold's going to want to do the same. He's going to want to get that done before having to go into a hearing because, it's brutal in there. But Contreras is going to be back regardless. Unless the Brewers decide to trade him with 2 years ago, which is unlikely. So I'm not worried about that at all. So now they've just got the big decision to make. I think the decision is Brandon Woodruff, because it could go either way on whether or not you give him a qualifying offer or not, because there is a chance that he could accept it, because it is $22 million. It is a little bit above what his mutual option was for. But
that's a $2 million. That's $2 million.
That's $2 million.
That's $2 million.
Right there.
What I'm talking about.
How about that?
It's risky. He could take it, an extra $2 million there from the mutual option. But if he doesn't, and you end up losing him, you do get a comp pick. So I think that's something. I think the Brewers should offer it to him. But also understanding that if he rejects, you can still sign him to a multi-year deal, and I think they're still going to be open to that at least.
And the most unsurprising news of the day, for what it's worth, Francis Romero is reporting that Rhys Hoskins will become a free agent.
Hold me over with a feather.
Right? Yeah. Not particularly surprising there. His mutual option was declined, and he will become a free agent.
I think there's a market out there for him, for a young team that's looking for a veteran bat. I don't know what he's going to get, compensation wise on the open market, but there's a home for Rhys Hoskins somewhere.
When he's healthy, he's a productive player. It's just he hasn't been healthy.
Sure. Well, I could see him playing in Sacramento for the Oakland /Sacramento /Las Vegas.
No, I think
cheap.
I think he can find a spot. He was not given a chance to play at all during the month of September. When he was back, he was healthy, And the Brewers just are like, yeah, we're going to go with Andrew Vaughn. And they gave Hoskins almost no chance to really kind of get going. So I feel bad for him. I'm not surprised at all that he's a free agent. And I'm pretty sure both sides were going to decline their end of that mutual option because he's going to want a new place to go. And I think he'll find a spot, but it's going to be hard for him to find a pretty decent sized contract because he had some injuries and wasn't super great last year. And then this year also had some, he was looking pretty good early on.
Yeah, I was going to say,
some injuries.
He helped carry this team in April.
Yeah, he helped them out early on. But, you look at some of the counting numbers and just the fact that he missed so much time and then was relegated to a bench role, kind of similar to Aaron Savale. It's just kind of like, a different role. That's going to hamper my earning power in free agency.
There's a role for him probably on a bad team, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a knock against Rhys Hoskins. Rhys,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Rhys Hoskins he's had postseason experience with Philadelphia and then last year with the Brewers, not this year, but last year with the Brewers. So he's a veteran presence. He's a great guy in the community. Everybody loves the guy. He's just one of those leader types, but he's made the turn on his career. He's made the clubhouse turn. He's playing the back nine.
He could go to Colorado once they finally decide to hire a general manager.
Sure.
Or actually once they get a general manager who wants to come there. Did you see the reports that they had 2 finalists? They offered the job to one of them. He declined it.
Yeah.
And then their other finalists said, you know what? I'm not going to take this job either.
If you are a baseball executive looking to better your situation, I don't know that you can do that in Colorado because ownership is so bad.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just the altitude, although that's part of it. I mean, it's ownership. It's ownership. It's always ownership. And, that I think that's true in all sports. Everything they say the fish rots from the head. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just kind of what they say.
Yeah, interesting. It's a phrase. Yeah.
It's a phrase,
but the eyeballs first. I don't.
Some brain rot, and then it.
What?
So I don't know. Maybe there's a physicist out there who can tell me.
From the head.
Yeah, that's a Google search. But I mean, it's just a saying, but it's true. I mean, in professional sports, if you have bad ownership, that's impossible to overcome. It's not hard to overcome. It's almost impossible to overcome.
So it's a metaphor for leadership, not a literal biological fact.
That's what
biologically,
I'm saying.
A fish starts to spoil from the intestinal system and spreads outwards from the belly out.
Nice.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, the head might be the last part.
Where did it?
Weird metaphor.
It is a weird metaphor because it's not even the slightest bit true. And I don't think. Here's where I'll pat myself on the back. I don't think anyone else has ever asked that question.
Maybe not.
Perhaps not.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the origins of the metaphor began.
Trying to find the etymology of it.
Yeah, whatever.
But either way, things are bad in Colorado.
Yes.
So that's kind of the moral of the story there. But yeah, the Brewers they're going to have a lot of decisions coming up to make. I mean, they made a bunch of them there yesterday, and I mean, you got the qualifying offer decision next to make on Thursday. By then, so we're going to have a little bit more news throughout the week on it, and what the Brewers decide to do is this offseason is going to end up getting going.
All right. We do have a programming note. If you are watching us on the stream, there is a possibility that we may go dark for just a few minutes because we got some maintenance that has to happen with one of the computers in the control room. So we're aware of it. It's not going to be for very long. You can find us on the iHeartRadio app. Just search for 97.3 The Game in Milwaukee or 1070 The Game in Madison if you want to keep listening. But if we do go dark on the stream that you're watching right now, again, very temporary, just routine, nothing to see here. We're not dead yet.
They're trying though.
Well,
not yet.
They're doing their best. But we do have some routine maintenance. So if we do go dark, that's what that's all about. And we will have it back up and running as soon as possible. I've been told that it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. So,
okay.
But we'll see. Anyway, just wanted you to be aware of that. You can find us on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen to us, perhaps. You're listening to us in Madison on 1070 The Game. We're not going anywhere there as well. So stay with us. And also, where else are we right now?
La Crosse, Eau Claire?
Yeah, La Crosse, Eau Claire, Rhinelander. Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Stay with us. It's DND on The Game.
Jump in a river and cool ourselves from the heat of the night. Baby, get ready. Ooh, you and me go fishing in the dark.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
DND will be back in just a moment.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Eagles songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3, Life in the Fast Lane.
He was too tired to make it. She was too tired to fight about it. Life in the fast lane surely make you lose your mind. Life in the fast lane. Life in the fast lane. Everything all the time.
Number 2,
Take It Easy.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby. Don't say nay.
Number 1,
Hotel California.
There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place.
Hear more from the Eagles and similar artists now.
search for the Eagles on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free.
Billy and Armin are talking about all of your favorite teams each morning from 6 to 10 on the game.
920 said, love the content, boys. But can we all agree that Keyshawn Nixon is not a number one corner?
Our cornerback unit, Billy, as a whole, might not be the greatest. I don't think we're going to ever sit around saying this was the best cornerback unit, the position group this Packers team ever had. They do battle out there. They did have some moments where we struggle, but also in a league like this, where there's a lot of passing, that means there's going to be a lot of completions, and a lot of guys are going to be the recipient of a lot of L's. And the receivers.
You're
will
going to
catch
hold a
balls
lot.
on them.
Yes,
Yeah.
no doubt. You're spot on, Armin. And you could not be more accurate here. And I think corner in the National Football League, I get it. Quarterback is the most important position, toughest position, all the mental stuff that you got to go through. From a physically demanding and emotionally testing and trying position, corner is the hardest position to play in the NFL. Yes. You are going up against and trying to break up the most expensive pairings in professional sports. Despite the sport, they're going to beat you a number of different times.
Yeah.
So you're going to give up completions, no doubt about it. Now, the one to Roman Wilson, that's a big miss. Like,
Sure.
we can't be letting Roman Wilson get behind us
Sure.
and not know where we are.
Oh, yeah.
That's the issue. But I think on the down in and down out compete factor, like the touchdown to DK Metcalf, what are you supposed to do?
He's a big old boy.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top John Mellencamp songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3,
Hurt So Good.
Hurt so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should, baby. Hurt so good.
Number 2,
Small Town.
No, I cannot forget from where it is that I come from. I cannot forget the people who love me. Yeah, I can be myself here in this small town. And people let me be just what I want to be.
Number 1,
Jack and Diane.
Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. To walk on.
Hear more from John Mellencamp and similar artists now.
search for John Mellencamp on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Sir Elton John to reflect on how radio can ignite the imagination.
You know, I grew up in an era, and I'm so grateful, after the war, the Second World War, where radio and records were primary source of music. But for me, listening to a play or listening to the radio and hear someone talk and reading a story, you had to use your imagination, like you do when you read a book. You read a novel and you read a story and you imagine what's going on. And your imagination is the most valuable asset you will possibly have.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
Has anybody seen the new Springsteen movie with Jeremy Allen White yet?
I have not.
I'll go see that.
I don't know if anyone has seen it.
I don't know.
I just saw how much money it's lost. So we'll see.
It'll
if
make it up.
there's
It'll make it up in streaming though. They always do. The
Maybe.
movie theaters, man, what a tough business to be in right now.
Yeah.
Welcome back in.
Yes.
It's D&D, Doug, Nick, and Dave.
I used to work
October
at
was
movie
the
theaters.
Yeah. I didn't know that, Dave. That's pretty cool.
What
Yeah.
did you do
You
there?
get to watch free
I was a
movies?
bartender.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So yeah, the old Take 5 lounge and serving up drinks.
Okay.
It's great. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Made
very
some decent money.
interesting.
as
Which
bartender.
one? That was one of the Marcus theaters?
Yes. Majestic and then the Ridge.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Wow.
Yeah,
a couple of them.
Majestic's not too far from my house. I've been to the Majestic many times,
Oh,
although
yeah.
I haven't been there very much in the last, I would say 6 years.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was working there in it was, late 2019.
Okay.
I saw that October was the worst October in like 30 something years.
And it's not because movies aren't good right now. I think they are. It's
The argument was that it was the worst set of movies.
well, no, there's
Yeah.
some good movies that are coming out. I mean, the new Brad Pitt movie, or not Pitt, the new DiCaprio movie is supposed to be really good.
Yeah, I saw it one battle after another. It was
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
one. Yeah. So that was a good
Yeah,
movie.
but that came out in September. And
Okay.
that was kind of like a big pop in that month.
Song Sung Blue is coming out. That's a quintessential Milwaukee story, which is
Yeah,
coming
I'm
out at the
sure.
end of the year with Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman. That'll be a fun movie. Can't wait to go see that. The Springsteen movie, I would like to go see at some point. They were wondering what killed movie theaters. Well, it's a combination of things. COVID helped, streaming helped, and $15 popcorn helped. You add it all
Yeah.
up, and people are like, "Meh, do I have to go out? Do I have
Yeah.
to go see a movie in theaters?"
Yeah, and some of the drinks too at the bar is just kind of like
Oh, yeah.
$12 for this.
And the arguments that the movie theaters will have is, well, that's the only way that we can make money because we don't make anything from the actual film release itself. I'm like, well, that's a problem then,
No.
because you can't hold a gun to somebody's head and say you're going to pay $12 for popcorn and $20 for, a cocktail and come to our movie theater and pay, $14 to sit in the theater and watch a
Yeah.
film. Whereas in 3 weeks, it'll be available in your living room and then you can stream it.
Yeah, that's true. Streaming is kind of killing. I do kind of want to see that Nuremberg movie as well. I do love World War II movies. I'm just a sucker for them,
I love history pieces, World War II
Yep.
movies, absolutely. True stories, biopics, however
Yeah.
you want to pronounce that. I love all of that stuff. The last movie that I saw in a theater was the new Top Gun,
Ooh,
and
very good movie.
I don't remember the film that I saw before that. It's been so. I love the movie, the theater experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
I go to like
I think-
4,
but it's-
5, 6 movies of the year in the theater.
Yeah,
and you've got to be ahead of the curve then, Nick.
No doubt.
yeah. I enjoy going. I've gone to a couple. I think the last one I went to was The Naked Gun when that came
Yeah,
out
that
over
was
the
great.
summer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I saw that in
fantastic
theaters.
fantastic movie.
Okay.
Liam Neeson.
Opening night.
Yeah,
I got a poster. They gave me a free poster.
they gave you
Pretty
a
sweet.
poster. I had to
I got
work there to get posters.
They gave me a
Like-
free poster. I walked in. I said, "Can I have one of those?" And they said, "Yep."
like
I
like
said,
a
"Sweet."
full-sized movie poster,
Yeah,
or just a
I
smaller one.
I would say it was like a miniature poster.
Okay. The full-size ones, yeah, you got to work there.
yeah,
I got
get a full size.
I got a couple Godzilla versus Kong posters and
Nice.
Wonder Woman 1984 posters.
Okay.
I got a couple of
Nice.
those. So,
My wife asked me what I want to do on my birthday, which is Sunday. So I think.
ooh,
and
happy
there's-
early birthday, Doug.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and you get a Sunday off.
And that's
from
just
Packers.
it. That's just it. I think I'm like, I wanted to go to a hockey game, but neither the Admirals nor the Blackhawks are playing a home game on Sunday.
Oh,
So that was out. I mean,
Yeah.
when I saw the schedule, the Packers schedule, I'm like, oh, get my birthday off, which I don't always get. Sometimes I have to, sometimes there's a
right.
game.
Yeah.
That's happened often. Last year was the bye week. So I spent my birthday at Yosemite, which was fantastic too.
Oh, yeah.
So I think maybe I want to go see a movie. Maybe I want to go see the Springsteen movie at the Majestic. That's
There
a
you go.
possibility. So it's my birthday.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want.
Darn,
That's right.
absolutely. yeah.
Or
It's
you
Doug's
watch
rules.
Badgers volleyball at the field house
Or I could do that.
against
Yeah.
Indiana and Luke Fickle's daughter.
Luca.
Luka Fickle.
Yeah.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
That's
it always. I remember when he was introduced, he was like introducing his kids. And this is my daughter, Luca. I'm like, wait, Luca?
Luca?
Here are my kids, Luca, Lucian,
right?
Luku.
Yeah. The only thing that
Lucas,
she tall.
Yeah, her dad's a pretty tall fella.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you're playing D1 volleyball. I mean,
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're ranked too. I mean, there you go. Field house on Sunday, Doug. I was looking to see if men's hockey was on Sunday. It's rare that they have hockey.
Yeah, I don't think they're playing on.
There's
not. I want to see how this is what I want to hear. I'm going to see a hockey game. If the Badgers are playing on my birthday, because we got dinner plans on Saturday, but on Sunday, the day is wide open. Packers aren't playing.
Yeah, you could just spend it watching, 12, 13 hours of football.
Yeah, I want to get out of the house though.
Okay, that's fair.
I watch a lot of football.
That's fair.
Oh, dang, I watch a lot of football.
Just celebrate a day early. Do 1 hour at women's basketball here, and then come over, watch Badgers football against Washington, and then finish your day with number 2 ranked Michigan in Ann Arbor.
That's possible.
You'd have to catch a quick flight to Ann Arbor.
Asian Crystalani writes
bad.
on Tuesdays, there are ticket deals at the Marcus Theaters.
Yeah, the value Tuesdays. It was $5 Tuesdays. Now I think that's gone up because $5 doesn't get you. Yeah, it's $6.
Ripon, the original Marcus Theater, my hometown, is $5 every night.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Any night, it's always $5.
I think Chris. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
There's just one theater. It's just one movie that they're showing, and it's the original, and they're trying to keep it open.
Chris writes back, Doug, you're turning 38. Yes.
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
We're gonna go with that. Sabrina and Tosa going to Back to the Future in theaters tonight. Going to see Back to the Future. The re-release this week has been the top number 6 movie this weekend.
Okay, which on the one hand, it's great. You got people going to the theaters for that. But also, if Back to the Future is coming in as your number 6 movie at the box office this weekend, your new movies coming out cannot be that good.
Yeah.
Well,
that is still a re-release, whatever. But you got Back to the Future, a movie that's been out for quite a bit of time that people are going to see in theaters, number 6 above so many other movies that are actually new and fresh coming out.
Yeah.
But
it'll
you know
probably
what?
beat the
There's some nostalgia though. People enjoy that.
People do love nostalgia. Absolutely.
The talk and text line open to you, 877-794-1973. It's also the halfway point of the NFL season. What are your grades for the Packers offense, defense? I don't want to know what your special teams grades are. I got an idea. I got an idea what you think the special teams grade is. Mike from Merrill writes on the talk and text line, this is the second offseason for Contreras' injury. We were talking about the Brewers a couple minutes ago. Second season of not playing up to his ultimate potential because of said injury. Last season, he said, I worked too hard in the offseason to not play every day. He should have been forced to get his finger fixed, then give him an extension. Or he should be forced to get his finger fixed, then give him an extension.
Well, I don't think you can't force a guy to do that.
Can't force surgery on somebody.
Yeah.
That's we don't do that in this country.
Yeah, no, that's certainly not how it works. Although an extension I am in favor of for William Contreras. But am I expecting it? No.
Yeah.
No, not expecting it.
The talk and text line open to you, 877-794-1973. Coming up in the next hour, we will check in with 24/7 Sports Nick Osen. Looking forward to that. There's another Badgers player of the class of 20. Well, he's not a Badgers player anymore for the class of 2026. He has decommitted. We'll have that coming up. Bucks with a big win last night. Brewers making some decisions, and we'll hear from Matt LaFleur coming up in the next hour of the program as well. He's talking about Tucker Kraft. Yeah, worst case scenario. Well, we all knew it was going to happen, but he gone for the year, and now it's up to Luke Musgrave to step up. Lots to talk about over the next 2 hours and 20 minutes. Glad you're with us. It's DND, Doug, Nick, and Dave on the game.
Want to watch DND? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like him even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top foreigner songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
Hot Blooded.
I show you love it like you never knew. That's why I'm hot-blooded. Check it and see. Feel the fever burning
Number 2. I want to know what love is.
Change this lonely life. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me.
Number 1. Cold as ice.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love.
Hear more from Foreigner and similar artists now. Search for Foreigner on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Led Zeppelin released their fifth album, Houses of the Holy. It goes to number 1 in the US and the UK and yields the top 20 hit Dire Maker.
But I still love you so, and I can't let you go. I love you. Ooh, baby, I love you.
The Doobie Brothers released their top 10 album, The Captain and Me, with the singles Long Train Running and China Grove. And in June, Joe Walsh and Barnstorm have a top 10 album buoyed by the single Rocky Mountain Way. Also in June of 73, George Harrison scores the number 1 single, Give Me Love, from the number 1 album, Living in the Material World. And Chicago's 6th album goes to number 1 with 2 top 10 hits, Just You and Me and Feeling Stronger Every Day. In July, 600,000 Jam Watkins Glen for Summer Jam, the largest rock festival ever held in the U.S. It features the band, the Grateful Dead, and the Allman Brothers. And in August, those same Allman Brothers released their first album after the death of Duane Allman and had their only hit single with Ramblin' Man, which goes to number 2.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1972.
In May, the Rolling Stones spend the year recording in southern France and release the double album Exile on Main Street. It goes to number 1 in both the US and the UK. California band the Doobie Brothers score a hit off their second album Toulouse Street with the single Listen to the Music. More from the summer of 72, Curtis Mayfield is back on the charts with a soundtrack for the film Superfly. The album yields 2 top 10 hits with Freddy's Dead and the title track. And former Zombies keyboardist Rod Argent has a hit album and a number 5 single in the US and the UK with Hold Your Head Up.
Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up.
Harry Chapin's performance of the song Taxi on The Tonight Show 2 nights in a row leads to a hit. And struggling UK band Mott the Hoople get help from fan David Bowie, who produces their album and writes them a hit, All the Young Dudes, which peaks at number 3 in the UK and in the top 40 in the States.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Carlos Santana to discuss how collaborating with Neil Sean and Greg Raleigh came to be once again.
Neil's vision. Neil Sean had this vision to reunite us again and rekindle that vision. So he's the one that had the thirst to ignite everything. And I'm glad he did, because he stayed on me for about almost a year. And I was busy with Santana. He was busy with Journey. And Greg is busy with Ringo. He's playing in Ringo Starr's band. But we finally got together. And it's such a joy, Neil, for having the pursuance to do it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Santana and all your favorite artists.
It's D&D, Doug, Nick, and Dave on this Tuesday. Bad news yesterday. I guess bad news Sunday. We knew that it was going to happen. We knew that the announcement was forthcoming, and there wasn't really even an announcement to make because we knew earlier in the day that Tucker Kraft is going to be lost for at least the rest of the season and then on into next year. Don't expect him at training camp. Won't be at any of the mini camps. He will be in rehab for the next, Christian Watson took him 9 months, but that was superhuman stuff. We'll see what it takes for Tucker Kraft to get back to the field. But just one of the many things that Packers coach Matt LaFleur was talking about yesterday when he met the media the day after the Packers lost to the Panthers 16-13 at Lambeau Field.
Then when you went back and looked at it, what did you think went wrong with the run defense?
There's a lot of layers to that question. I would say that, typical run defense starts up front, and there were some things that we didn't do that we typically do at a high level, but it all starts for us just making sure our guys are playing their right responsibilities, their right gaps, and then it comes down to the technique and fundamentals, and just weren't good enough in that regard. I don't think it wasn't like there was anything that we didn't expect. Their longest run of the day, we got a nickel pressure coming off that edge, and we just don't fit it right. So, but give credit to them. We knew that they had a good run game. Dowdle has been doing a really nice job. He's a tough guy to bring down. He had a couple broken tackles, and he's just a physical runner.
Is any update on Colby?
Yeah, nothing long term. So we feel good about that.
Golden.
Again, not that he shouldn't be long term as well.
When you said yesterday that McManus is working through some things, did you mean mechanically or health wise?
No, I definitely say health wise. He didn't kick for 2 straight weeks, so but that's a process working through. But we felt confident in terms of what we've been seeing out at practice and just his ability to make them, because that's where it all starts for us. And he's been doing a great job in practice, and unfortunately, he missed the shorter of I know he had 3 kicks, but unfortunately he missed the shorter one and hit the longer one.
Will you be sticking with him?
That is plan.
What is Luke able to give your offense right now without Tucker? Obviously, we haven't seen much of him with how Tucker's been playing. What do you think in terms of where he's at?
Luke's a guy that, we got a ton of confidence in, and I think his career got started off on, faced a little adversity being in and out of the lineup with some injuries. But what he does bring is he definitely brings a vertical presence. And we're going to have to put him in situations where he can utilize his strengths.
Do you have to schematically change much with him in the offense? They're so different, Tucker and Luke, in terms of their strengths and what they do.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some tweaks in regards to just like it is with the difference with maybe in the receiver room. You ask some guys to run choice routes, and you have other guys to run the deeper developing routes, and so there'll be some tweaks in that regard.
Matt, did you get to talk to Tucker after the MRI? How's he doing? Obviously a season-ending injury really sucks, but how's he doing?
He's doing as good as you could ever be doing considering the circumstances. So Tuck's a guy that he's not going to flinch, and that's why we love him. He's a hell of a player, hell of a teammate, hell of a guy. I'm bummed for him. I'm bummed for us, but it's part of it, and it's got to be that next man up mentality. And unfortunate for him, but now other guys are going to get an opportunity.
I'm not asking this as a smart aleck, I swear. But with all the questions you've gotten about targets, is it possible that not having focused your entire offense on one guy, you're a little bit better prepared, that your spread the wealth approach might allow you to handle a really bad setback better than you would otherwise?
In terms of?
Like if you had made it all about Tuck and now you lost him.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, that's the beauty of having multiple guys that you feel confident in, and you just got to pivot. And like, that's part of this game, is you have to adapt sometimes to the circumstances that are presented to you. And especially when it comes to personnel.
What about Banks?
Nothing long-term.
Matt, when you say Golden's not long-term, is that he's day-to-day or week-to-week?
I'd say more day-to-day.
How do you get the line going the way you need it to get going, especially if you're going too high and need to run the ball?
Well, there were some moments where we effectively ran the ball. In fact, after going through it, I felt better about our ability to run the ball than maybe just right in the moment. There were some times where, we got stoned for 0-yard gain or lost some yards, where we absolutely have to be better in those situations. But I just think it's the consistency of what you do it. And I think that's the problem offensively right now is, I've never been a part of a game where we had 7 possessions, did not punt one time, and you lose the game. And on 5 of those, you get into the red area. So it was just a weird dynamic. And what it comes down to is our ability to finish drives. Certainly the first drive, can't put the ball on the ground. Second drive, we got, I think it was 2nd and 5. We get a false start. The next play, we get sacked. Then we get another penalty. And then that third drive was a 2-minute drive where we had 3 shots at the end zone. So, but ultimately, we just have to be more consistent when we get down there in those situations. And, you kick enough field goals, that's a recipe to get you beat.
All right, that's Packers coach Matt LaFleur, a portion of his news conference yesterday, addressing, among other things, the Tucker Kraft injury. And listen, it's next man up, and Luke Musgrave was a 2nd-round draft choice the same year that Tucker Kraft was a 3rd-round draft choice. So it's been an issue of injuries for both of those guys now, because Musgrave was thought of as more of the pass catcher, but then he got hurt. His ankle was all messed up from all of last year, most of last year. And now it's the ACL for Tucker Kraft. It's next man up, and hopefully Luke Musgrave can take advantage of that. Hour number 1 down, hour number 2 coming up straight ahead. Nick Osen will join us. Stay with us, DND on the game.
Want to watch DND? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. No BS on The Game.
Show up all the odds of the different teams that could win the title. There are 14 teams up on there, none of which were named the Milwaukee Bucks.
Wow.
For the first time in a long time.
We're not top 14? Jeez.
Let alone top 4. Yeah. I mean, that's been the Bucks for a majority of the last decade since Giannis has taken that next step and become the MVP player that he is and has been in the NBA. So you just see, and at the Potawatomi Sportsbook right now, you can look down the list of different teams, and I think the Bucks appear right around 15th or 18th in terms of odds. They're like 50-1 long shots to win the NBA championship.
Plus 5,000 right now.
And understandably so. They are a really, really unproven group and a very unproven commodity. But when they got the best player in the Eastern Conference that is still seemingly wide open, definitely not as much of an open and shut case as I think the Western Conference is, with Oklahoma City kind of head and shoulders above everybody. In the East, I don't see that, and I see a team that is, with him as motivated as he appears to be, it could lend itself to positive results.
Billy and Armin are talking about all of your favorite teams each morning from 6 to 10 on The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Try to set the night on fire.
In January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to number 2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to number 1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them to number 1 in the U.S. in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Would you somebody to love.
In March of '67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of '67, Give Me Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to number 7 in the U.S. with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits number 4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the US as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the US album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967 coming up.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Steve Miller Band songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Take the Money and Run.
Bobby Sue, took the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run.
Number 2, Rockin' Me.
I know that it's true that all the things that I do will come back to me in my sweet time. So keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby.
Number 1, The Joker.
I play my music in the sun. I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I get my loving on the run.
Hear more from the Steve Miller Band and similar artists now. Search for Steve Miller Band on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about performing live.
Going on stage was when I could show off and be comfortable. And you know, I was always a bit timid off stage. And the stage gave me an outlet. And you'll find that with many performers, whether they be dancers, actors, singers, musicians. They have the outlet on stage to become the person they're not off stage. And I think that's what eventually led to my troubles, along with the drugs and the drink, is that the person who was fast becoming popular as Elton John and becoming, you know, the number 1 rock star in the world had kind of escaped from the person off stage, and the balance was completely off kilter. And the more I became successful, the harder I worked, and the less time I concentrated on being normal or trying to be kind of normal. But people who knew me privately were shocked, I think, at what I was doing off stage. Rather, you know, they knew what I was going to do on stage, but off stage they were shocked and disappointed.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
Attention, please. We are the gang and the home of DND with Doug, Nick, and Dave. Weekdays from 10 to 2, live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Watch the show on YouTube, Facebook, and X by searching 97.3 The Gang.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Bucks last night in Indianapolis. Giannis with 33 points in the game, including the last 2.
Switched out on him. Giannis with the back down. The paint away. The
Nice.
shot. It's good. With zeros on the shot clock. Giannis with the game winner in Indy.
Lisa Byington with that call, but my personal favorite call of that shot was from the Pacers broadcast team.
After the screen comes, and then a group of 4, 3, 2, 1, fades, shoots, and hits.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I mean,
how can he do this to us again?
You gotta be kidding me.
Just
funny.
incredible. Bucks end up getting the win. Indianapolis 117-115, and it was quite the homecoming for Miles Turner.
Well, he got booed.
Yeah,
Booed.
but he got the win.
He did.
He played not that well.
True.
He was picked up by another superstar.
That's what's going to happen. That's
That's
what
day
good
at the
teams do.
office for Miles Turner.
So it begs the question. I mean, right now Indianapolis is 1-6. So I mean, They're missing their two best players from last. I mean, Pascal Siakam's still a good player, but obviously without Tyrese Halliburton because of the Achilles injury, Miles Turner now playing for the Bucks. I mean, they were led by Siakam's 32 points. I mean, but he can't do it alone. Aaron Nesmith had 17. Isaiah Jackson had 21 points.
Nembhard's hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, they're banged up big time. The Benedict Matherin's also unavailable. Whatever. I mean, it's a lost season. They weren't going anywhere without Halliburton. It might be beneficial for them to be terrible, so they have a better spot in the lottery.
Maybe. I mean, the Bucks are 5-2. I mean, that's
crown them.
That's crown
them.
I mean, that's kind of where we thought that they could be. Is about 5-2, close to the. I mean, we're 7 games into an 82-game schedule, so let's not get ahead of
about
ourselves.
10% of the way in, right? The next game will get you 8 out of 82. It'll be about 10% in. They probably should have beaten the Kings.
You can make that argument.
They beat the Warriors without Giannis.
Yes, they did.
Be hard to say this isn't a promising start to the year, especially with how bad they were early last season.
Yeah, I think that there's a long way to go for the Bucks. Obviously, health is, as it has been, and it is for every team, the number one issue as to how far you're going to go. But this is about how good I think the Bucks can be this year. I think that they can be a contender in the East. I don't think that they're the best team in the East. I don't think they're certainly not close to the best team if they were in the Western Conference. I don't know if they would even be a playoff team if they were in the Western Conference. But in the East, how wide open it is, there's a chance. And anytime you give yourself a chance, I mean, you've got to make a decent playoff run. Otherwise, we're going to be making some difficult decisions at the end of this upcoming season. So, we'll see what happens, but everybody's got to stay healthy, and that has not been the case, whether it was Chris Middleton, whether it was Giannis, whether it was Dame. And that's why they've had the early exits that they've had the last several years.
Yeah. Speaking of early exits, the Dallas Cowboys lost last night on a Monday Night Football, 27-17 to the Arizona Cardinals, with Stephen A. Smith hanging out with Jerry Jones in his suite for a little bit during that game. That was an interesting part of the night.
Jerry!
But it is now trade deadline day in the NFL, and we have got some big news that has been breaking in the last couple of minutes here. Sauce Gardner, the cornerback for the New York Jets, has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts for 2 first-round picks.
Wow.
Plus wide receiver A.D. Mitchell.
Wow.
How about that? Mitchell ruined his life by fumbling through the end zone against the Rams earlier this year. He was this close to a huge play touchdown. They lose that game. Then he's benched for weeks. Now he's banished to New York.
Yeah. Sent to
2 hands on the ball going into the end zone, everybody.
Or you will be sent to Siberia. And by Siberia,
right.
we mean the New York Jets.
Yeah. And I mean, at one point, you're thinking, you're going to go to New York. Well, no, you're going to the New Jersey Meadowlands, which you get to go. You know what the Meadowlands were built on? Swampland.
Yeah.
But
the Swampland Stadium, doesn't really have the same ring to it.
No, but so they call it the Meadowlands. So you're still not in New York. And that's one thing that NFL players are kind of figuring out. It's like New York's not all that it's cracked up to be. The Giants suck. The Jets are awful. You're not anywhere near the bright lights of the big city.
From 7-2 to 1-7.
Yeah. The Jets
and
are
from 1-7 to 7-2.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Sauce.
So Luke Fickell's greatest recruit of all time now is a member of the Indianapolis Colts.
There we go. Yeah, the AFC leading Indianapolis Colts. And
2 first rounders, though. I mean,
I didn't know Mason Posa was in the league.
When Sauce, you guys are saying, well, Sauce was traded. I'm like, okay, for what? Because I figured in my mind, I was thinking a first rounder and then maybe a late rounder or just a first rounder.
2
first rounders. Okay, this is where we're at. This is the Indianapolis Colts feeling themselves. This is the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know if it was because of Sunday's loss. I don't know if it's because they got off to a 7-1 start, now 7-2. They're feeling it right now. They feel like this is their opportunity. So let's mortgage a little bit of the future, kind of like the Packers did with Micah Parsons. Going to mortgage a little bit of the future, and we're going to see if we can make a real push at this thing this year.
Yeah,
I admire that. I admire listen. If you've got a chance,
if you're the Jets,
go for
though, if you're the Jets, you feel like you are amply compensated. You're feeling pretty good about
absolutely.
This move.
Well, I think
2 first rounders for a cornerback, shelf life not long.
Yeah,
but
and just signed an extension. It's the Micah Parsons package for not a premier edge rusher, but a premier corner.
Yeah,
which
he's
is
a premier corner.
Oh, he's a premier
Yeah.
corner, but corner and edge rusher are
That's
kind of
right.
different valuations.
Just
in
throw
the
it to the
NFL.
other side of the field.
I mean, yes.
Are they
and
not?
no. Yeah. Not the gap isn't as wide as I think you think it is, though.
Okay.
Cornerback is hard to play in the NFL.
100%.
And
I'm certainly not.
And you see
doubting that.
and you see how much the Packers are missing having a premier cornerback right now, because teams can, if you've got a premier wide receiver, you got to put somebody on him. And if
Yeah.
you can shut down that side of the field, that closes off, that offense's biggest weapon in today's NFL. It's all about the quarterback. It's all about affecting the quarterback, and having a cornerback locking down your number one target. I mean, it's a huge part of the equation.
Yeah.
I think a lot, I'm not picking on you by any means. I think a lot of people maybe undervalue how important a cornerback is, a lockdown guy who can take out a wide receiver is.
Yeah, in terms of what teams are willing to pay, and the Colts are willing to pay quite a bit. Also, in NFL trade deadline news, the Saints are sending wide receiver Rashid Shaheed to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for a 4th and 5th round selection.
Okay. Well, Seahawks are another team that are going for it because they've gotten off to a great start.
Yeah, and they could use a little bit of receiver help, and the Saints are going absolutely nowhere. So,
Yeah, that is true. Credit to Shaheed, a bajillion targets over the last 4 weeks for him. He's been a huge part of what they're doing in New Orleans, and Cooper Kupp seems like he has crossed that bridge into being irrelevant for the Seattle Seahawks. So
he's the pet that you just put down.
He has gone over, that Rainbow Bridge. And they needed him. I mean, Seattle is incredible. Incredible. Look what they did to Washington. I mean, they destroyed them on Sunday Night Football. I know Washington's not a great squad this year, but I mean, that was electric. And now you add in Shaheed to that. And also Jacoby Myers was traded today, too. I don't know if, Dave, you were going to add that in there as well. But he's a Jaguar.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers to the Jaguars. And it is a lot of players on the move here today. NFL trade deadline is going to be coming up here in just a couple of hours. So it is a very busy day. I'm excited to see the NFL trade deadline actually be something. I remember a couple of years ago when Mike McCarthy was asked about what the NFL trade deadline was like, and he's like, I thought it was next week. That's what it's like around here.
Yeah. Listen,
and that's what it was like most places.
Well, Ted Thompson was a good man. I don't want to besmirch his memory or anything like that. It's the same criticism that I've had about Ted, and I don't want to, I'm not, reburying those that have really departed or anything like that, because on a personal level, I liked Ted a lot. I truly did. He just wasn't aggressive enough as a general manager. I mean, they had the best quarterback in the NFL at the time in his prime, and they just didn't surround him with enough talent. They weren't aggressive enough. They were always building for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road. And that's what a good scout does. That's not what a great general manager does. And that's one of the things that I've really admired about Brian Gutekunst, is that he will go for it. And he will be he was in on Khalil Mack, didn't land him. He was in on a couple of other guys, and then he lands Micah Parsons. This is one of the things that I really admire about Brian Gutekunst. He's not afraid to make the bold move that Ron Wolf made 2 generations ago when he traded a 1st-round pick for a 3rd-round quarterback, or for a 3rd-string quarterback. Those are the kind of moves that win you Super Bowls. So congratulations to the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know if the Packers had enough room under their salary cap, but you know what? I would have traded another 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
Considering what we've seen this year out of the Packers defensive second, or not, well, the safeties have been good, but the cornerbacks haven't.
Yeah.
The cornerbacks have been terrible.
Yeah. And the Packers don't have any more 1st-round picks to trade.
Warrant that? I mean, is the Packers offense good enough to warrant trading 2 more future 1st-round picks?
I don't know, man.
You got your head coach.
I always want to go for it, man. If you have the opportunity to go for it, and sometimes you don't. Like if you're the Jets, I get it. If you're the Saints, I get it. You don't have that opportunity. That window isn't there. So you shouldn't go for it. You should start building for the future. But if you've got the great core, man, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your fans to do everything you can to win now. So that's why there's buyers and that's why there's sellers. And if you are a team that, I don't know if the Packers are going to make a move today, but nobody thought that they would be in on Micah Parsons. And there were a lot of people saying, 2 first-round picks and all that money for Micah Parsons. Yeah. Yes. If you can do it. If you feel like you're close enough to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we're all kind of saying it. We didn't think they were actually going to do it. Like I remember Billy talking about all the time. He's like, yeah, we should shop in the Micah Parsons aisle.
I didn't think that Jerry was going to trade him.
Actually do it.
I didn't think Jerry's going to trade him.
I was doing the pregame show for the Badgers football game the day that went down. I think it was August 28th. I think it was the opener against Miami, Ohio. It could have been Saturday the 6th of September. Yeah. But yeah, Reed and I are on air and we're like sitting there, and Nick Osen, who we'll talk to in 20 minutes, came up to us and he's like, guys, you see the news? I was like, no, we're on air. What's going on? And he's like, Parsons what? Packer. What? No way. So yeah, I guess maybe if I'm on air, good things happen. I was on air when Dame was traded too. Wow. That was pretty cool.
Wild moment. It is wild. We're going to see the according to some reports out there, the Packers certainly are making calls. There certainly is interest in making a move. We'll see if they get anything across the finish line here before the deadline at 3:00 this afternoon. But they are looking, and perhaps at tight end, because there's famously now an opening at tight end.
Well, but you also have invested a second round draft choice from 3 years ago in a tight end. You hope that is going to be able to, now that he's healthy and there's the opportunity that's there, to pick up some of the slack. You hope that you don't need to trade for a tight end. Now, hope is not a strategy. I understand that.
Yes.
But you have that investment already. So now it's time to deploy that weapon. We've seen Luke Musgrave be good in spurts, but just hasn't been able to stay healthy. Now it's incumbent upon him to try to stay on the field.
But at the same time, Doug, we've also talked about having to be aggressive and making those kinds of moves to help the team. So you lose a guy like Tucker Kraft, go out and be aggressive, since this is right ahead of the trade deadline.
That's the name that's kind of been floating out there is David Njoku.
Njoku's out there. There's also reports of Michael Mayer from the Raiders, interest there. So we shall see what ends up happening, if anything ends up happening. But, Goody, he's also kind of entering year. He's trying to push to get a new contract because he's got new leadership in charge. And also the GM in Indianapolis, he's got new leadership in charge.
That's true.
And he's got the next generation of Irsay's in charge.
And I think her name is Carly.
Carly.
She's invested, man.
She's invested. She's on headset. Yeah. She's taking notes.
Yep.
So,
not that the old man wasn't.
No,
but I think she's just invested in a different way. And I like it.
Yeah. She sees a 7-1, 7-2 team. She's going to want you to invest in it.
Yeah. So again, I admire, as far as Brian Gutekunst's contract extension, if they don't give him a contract extension, I think that is a grave mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Full stop.
100%.
So I think the jury is a little bit out on Matt LaFleur right now. And the jury, when I say the jury, I mean the judge and the executioner. His name is Ed Policy.
Yep.
As far as Brian Gutekunst is concerned, it would be a grave mistake to not give him an extension.
Oh, 100%. But still, that until that extension is signed, you may still have that pressure that you're feeling if you're Brian Gutekunst. So
perhaps.
So we will keep an eye on the NFL trade deadline happenings and if the Packers are able to make any sort of moves at all, and we will keep you updated accordingly.
All right, we'll go around the room. Nick, do you think the Packers make a deal, a deal?
No, I don't think so. It just feels like they just don't do that. So I don't think so. I hope so, but I don't know. I don't think they will.
Dave?
I'm going to say yes. Okay. I'm going to say they are going to do something. Now,
on what level? On what grade? Because the last 2 years they made minor moves, and it was addition by subtraction by getting rid of Rasul Douglas and then Preston Smith. Those were technically deals, but they were subtraction deals.
They were. I think it's going to be minor that they get something, maybe just a depth addition here. I would love to see them make kind of a splash move, maybe for a tight end there. But I think they are going to make something. It may just be on the lower tier of what everyone's expectations are.
Okay. A depth move, if you will.
Depth move, yes.
All right, we'll see. I think that they will make, I don't think they're going to make a move. I don't think there's a move to make right now. But hey, listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Been wrong before. Didn't see Preston Smith getting traded. Certainly didn't see Rasul Douglas getting traded.
Didn't see Sauce Gardner getting traded.
But you know what? That makes sense, though. If the Jets can get back that value, if you can get back 2 first-round draft choices for Sauce Gardner.
And a receiver.
Well.
Oh.
2 first. You're getting 2 first. Let's call it what it is.
You're getting a route runner.
Player. He's a good player. I mean,
he just occasionally drops the ball a little early.
I mean, low risk move. I mean, if he pans out, he pans out. If he doesn't, he doesn't. The big
the
meat of it is the first rounders.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I mean, same thing with, not quite the same thing maybe, but with Kenny Clark as kind of the inclusion for the 2 first rounders for Micah Parsons. Now, Jerry said it was for, that run defense to get better.
How's that working out for him?
Not well. It's not working out well.
Wouldn't it be funny if the Cowboys traded for an edge rusher?
Oh God, it'd be so funny. It'd be hilarious. I mean, they already traded for Logan Wilson,
the
linebacker from Cincinnati.
That's
right. Nick, was he having a very good season at all?
Well, he actually got benched. He was a coach's scratch.
Healthy
a couple
scratch?
weeks ago. Healthy scratch. Coach's decision as their team captain defensively. So he's a good player. In past years, they got him for a 7th round pick, but if that's the move that they make, it's going to be pretty embarrassing, I think, for Jerry. Cowboys run defense, brutal. 143 yards allowed a game, 4th worst in the NFL.
We have an NFC North trade that is coming out per Adam Schefter. The Cleveland Browns are sending defensive end Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and a 7th round pick to the Chicago Bears in exchange for a 6th round pick.
Okay. Minor deal.
Yeah, minor deal. Chicago lost Dayo Odeyingbo to a season-ending Achilles injury on Sunday.
I don't blame you.
So
Dave's got the onomatopoeia trade available for us here.
I mean, what are these names? Like, I just see the Adam Schefter trade thing. I'm like, oh, here we go. And it's just the most impossible to pronounce names included.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well done. Bears make a move. Teams are being aggressive today. I like to see it.
Let's see. Mark and Madison writes, the Packers need an O-line guy, not a tight end. I would tend to agree. I don't think that. Listen, I'm ready to roll with Luke Musgrave at tight end. I want to see if it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. But you made the investment. He's still on the team. He's been injured. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just put Christian Watson at tight end.
I don't know if we want to put the most injury-prone player from that group.
He's
not
injury-prone. He's just unlucky.
He's injury a lot if he's not injury-prone.
Like if Tucker Kraft got hurt next year, would you say he's injury-prone?
No, but it's been one thing after another with Christian Watson and then the torn ACL. At least with Tucker Kraft, it was a contact injury. With Christian, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And that
they rushed him
gives
back.
me pause.
Last year he had the injury. He was rushed back out there, and the other ligament blew because he was out there compensating.
It's been hamstring. It's been back. It's, I don't blame anybody for getting a concussion in the NFL, but it has been one thing after another with Christian. You want him to stay healthy because when you see the impact that he makes when he's out there, he's just got to be out there on a more regular basis. All right. Keep him coming on the talk and text line 877-794-1973 to be proper, the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. 877-794-1973. Nick Osen's coming up in about 15 minutes or so on the Badgers beat. They lose another member of the class of 2026. Also, the basketball team began their campaign last night with a win over Campbell, right?
Yes, Campbell.
Yeah, the
Camels.
The soup.
The Camels. The Campbells. Wait, no, that's wrong. The Campbell Camels. Say that fast 5 times. I'm going to practice that on the other side. Stay with us. It's DND on the game.
You can't touch it. I told you, homeboy, you can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we living, and you can't touch this.
You are listening to DND with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
September of 77, American duo Steely Dan released their 6th album, Asia. It goes to number 3 in the States on the strength of 2 top 20 hits, Peg and Deacon Blues. In October, the major label debut album by Meatloaf is released. Hits number 14 in the U.S. and goes on to be one of the best-selling albums of all time. Leonard Skinner released the album Street Survivor. 3 days later, singer Ronnie Van Zant and 2 other band members are killed in a plane crash. The album goes to number 5 in the States, and the single What's Your Name hits number 13.
What's your name, little girl? What's your name?
In November, Eric Clapton's Slow Hand is released. It goes to number 2, driven by 3 hit singles, Cocaine, Wonderful Tonight, and Lay Down Sally.
Lay down, Sally, and rest you in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more. From 1977, coming up.
Drew and KB are talking sports and stuff every weekday from 2 to 6.
Christian Watson's return to the field for the Green Bay Packers, obviously a huge story, and it's a huge story here in Drew and KB land because it means that we get to say hi to Christian's mom, Krista Lynn, our returning champion. What was it like for Wisconsin's favorite sports mom to watch her son return to the field after 9 months of grueling rehab and isolation and self-doubts, and to see him just frolic on the field like he was never hurt?
I'm going to be really honest. For the first time in my mom career, I was very nervous and anxious, and I'm not really that kind of a person often, but there was just so much leading up to this. And I mean, even after I talked to him on the phone yesterday, I called him before they were leaving the hotel and to head over to the stadium. And I was like, how are you going to get through knocking the cobwebs off? I mean, that's really what it is. There's literally nothing like an actual game or a game time situation that you can simulate. You know what I mean? With other guys coming at you at full speed, they want to hurt you. They want to take you out. How are you going to get through that? And he was like, just being really honest, Mom, I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to do me.
I mean, that's fantastic. It doesn't matter. You would have that same conversation with him if he was in Pop Warner football and as a professional. That's just mom stuff, and that's great.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search Drew and KB on the iHeartRadio app.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
Boston band Aerosmith released their debut album. It fares poorly. It would be re-released in 76 and yield a top 10 hit, Dream On.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, right on that.
Elvis Presley's live TV special, Aloha from Hawaii, is watched by more than 1 billion people worldwide and introduces the world to the rhinestone white jumpsuit. In February of 73, Alice Cooper has a #1 album with Billion Dollar Babies, along with 3 top 40 singles. Elton John also has a #1 album and his first #1 single with Crocodile Rock. Paul McCartney and Wings have a #1 single with My Love, and the Stooges signed to Columbia Records and released their final album, Raw Power, produced by David Bowie. In March, Pink Floyd releases the now legendary Dark Side of the Moon. It goes to #1 and becomes one of the best-selling albums of all time.
And everything under the sun is in you. The sun is a great spot.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more. From 1973, coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record. But it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
Hey there, people. This is Mark Maron, and I host the podcast WTF with Mark Maron, which is available on iHeartRadio. Honestly, I think we could all listen to each other a little bit more, and I think it's a healthy thing. I listen to all sorts of people, comedians, actors, musicians, directors, writers, even a president. They come into my garage, and we have a conversation about all the big stuff in life. Go check it out, WTF with Mark Maron, right here on iHeartRadio.
It's D&D on this Tuesday afternoon in the good land. November 4th, 2025. The trading deadline just a couple hours away. In case you missed it, there have been, I would say, one blockbuster and a couple of other pretty significant moves. The blockbuster, of course, involving Sauce Gardner from the Jets to the Colts for 2 first-round draft choices. That's the headliner. 2 first-round draft choices. Whew. But you know what? I'll always admire teams that think that they are close and they go for it.
Yeah.
And the Colts have gotten off to an amazing start, Sunday's game notwithstanding, but they've gotten off to a 7-2 start. We're about at the halfway point of the season. The Packers have played 8 games. Not everybody has played their bye week yet, but I mean, it something to think about, because I want to get into this in our final hour of the show, is because we got Nick Osen coming up in about 10 minutes. Where do you grade this Packers team out? Are they as good as you thought that they were going to be? And I wouldn't even say at the beginning of the season. I would say, after the Micah Parsons trade, maybe expectations spiked up considerably, as they should have, because, that was a trade for this year, not next year, the year after that, or the year after that, because you're giving up 2 first-round draft choices in the next 2 years for him. What would you grade them out? Nick, what do you give, if you had to give the Packers a letter grade? What are we talking about?
A B.
Yeah.
I think that you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and they have dropped 2 games to teams that they're supposed to beat so far this year. Cleveland is not good, and the Packers found a way to lose that one. Some poor luck and some timely plays, certainly by Cleveland in that one. The blocked field goal, most notably, for the Browns. Defensively, I think they're probably an A. I don't think you look at that side of the ball and question what they have going on, but I've just been underwhelmed offensively at times, certainly in the run game. And who cares about special teams? If I'm being completely honest, people make a big deal about some of that stuff.
Well, can win you or lose you games.
I equate kicking, like field goals, to the offensive side of the ball, just because you put points on the board if you execute it. I guess that's where I conflate things. But like when people get caught up in like who's punt returner, who's, the penalties on kickoffs and stuff like that. Yeah, it hurts. But if your offense is elite, you can mask that type of stuff. And they did with Rodgers for so long, and they're not doing well this year. So I give them a B. They're still the best team. I guess if the season ended today in their division, they'd be the 1 seed.
But alas, the season does not end today.
Yeah, alas, famously, it's only midseason.
Dave, so a B from Nick.
Dave? I'm going to go B+, just because, they are top their division, and there were a lot of concerns coming into the season about where they would be with Detroit, with Chicago, with Minnesota. So Green Bay being able to be on top of it. Yes, they're coming off a rough game here against Panthers. They had a rough one against the Cleveland Browns. But other than that, they started off really strong. They've had a couple other really good games mixed in there as well. Playing extremely well against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think there's a lot of positives. There's a lot of improvements that they've made, a lot of guys that have gotten better. And despite some of the issues that they've had, the issues on the offensive line, the issues with, losing a couple of other guys to injuries, I think they've been able to win games pretty well. So I'm going to go with a B+ for them.
I think you guys are much too kind. I give them a C.
Okay.
I give them a C, because if you would have asked me after the first 4 days of the season, after the Washington game, I would have said A+. This team, on their way to Santa Clara for the Super Bowl. They beat 2 teams that one was in the division round, the other was in the NFC Championship game last year, and they beat them soundly. Then they go and they lay an egg against the Cleveland Browns, who have been shown to be a not good football team. Then they give up 40 points to the Dallas Cowboys, who have shown themselves to be a not good football team. Beat Cincinnati, beat Arizona, you beat Pittsburgh, and then you think that this team is on a crescendo, and then they lay an egg against the Carolina Panthers. The talent on this team is better than what we've seen. It's better than a team that loses to the Browns, ties the Cowboys, and loses to the Panthers. It's better than that. And that's why I give Brian Gutekunst an extension. I don't know if that's called giving him a pass or anything like that. I think Brian Gutekunst has done everything that he can to fortify this team with the resources available to him. He's traded for the now, and he's given Matt LaFleur and his coaching staff everything that they could possibly want. I don't think that they are playing up to their capabilities, and part of that's on the coaching staff. I don't know. I think that Jeff Hafley's a future head coach in the NFL. I believe that. I'm looking around at the rest of the staff, and I'm not sure that I see another head coach. And I remember going back to that first Mike Holmgren staff, and it was one head coach after another, whether it was John Gruden, who was on that staff, whether it was Dick Duran, the late Dick Duran, who was a future head coach, who was on that staff. Ray Rhodes, a future NFL coach of the year, on that staff. Andy Reid, maybe the best, arguably, one of the top 5 NFL head coach of all time on that staff. I mean, it was just one assistant after another that had Steve Mariucci, a future NFL head coach, on that staff. I don't see that right now. I don't see the John Dorseys in the front office. Maybe John Eric Sullivan, who I think he's the only one that's interviewed for a general manager's job. I don't see the same trajectory. I just see that, Brian Gutekunst has done a good job getting NFL-ready players on this roster. But I also see that, man, I think their record could be and should be better than it is. I give them a C. I don't think they're failing. I don't think they're failing, but I don't think they're playing up to the capabilities of what they are.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
My opinion coming into the season was that they weren't a playoff lock. So they're kind of right where I expect them to be. That's why I say B. I mean, they're in the hunt for the playoffs. I don't have them in front of me, and I know a bunch of them will make me look dumb, including Washington. But I did have, I think, 5 teams in the NFC that I thought were locks to make the postseason. And the Packers weren't on there.
Yeah.
And, I was made fun of. I was told I was being too low on the Packers.
Oh, I would never make fun of you, Nick. I mean, not.
Well,
if I did, I would do it to your face.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, don't make fun of me.
We'll banish you to your bar.
Don't need any help from us. That's right.
That's right. Nick Osen's coming up straight ahead. There is another Badger. Well, now former Badger. Actually, he was never a Badger to begin with, but another linebacker decommits from the class of 2026. We'll hit that. Also, the Badgers basketball team, they open up their season against the Camels or the Campbell Soups. Who knows? I don't know. You guys did the J&K Security Solutions basketball postgame show last night. All I know is that Wisconsin is 1-0 in men's basketball, and that's where they need to be as their schedule will ramp up, and they'll get more interesting games in the very near future. But Nick Osen will come up straight ahead from 24/7 Sports. Keep them coming on the talk and text line. Again, 877-794-1973. What letter grade at the halfway point do you give your Green Bay Packers? Nick has a B. Dave has a B+. I give them a C. Where do you guys land? Again, 877-794-1973. We'll hit some of your messages coming up. Nick Osen will join us straight ahead. Stay with us. Lots to get to here as we reach the halfway point of today's show on The Game.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
DND will be back in just a moment.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Queen songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, We Are the Champions. Number 2, We Will Rock You.
You got mud on your face, big disgrace. Somebody better put your bag into your place. We will rock you. Sing it. We will rock you.
Number 1, Another One Bites the Dust.
Another one bites the dust, and another one gone, and another one gone, another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust.
Hear more from Queen and similar artists now. Search for Queen on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Prince songs you've thumbed up. Number 3, Little Red Corvette.
It was Saturday night. I guess that makes it all right. You say, baby, I ain't got enough gas. Oh, yeah. Little red Corvette. Baby, your mind's too fast. It's sure.
Number 2, 1999.
2000 party over, oops, out of time. So tonight I'm gonna party like it's 1999.
Number 1. When Doves Cry.
She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Hear more from Prince and similar artists now. Search for Prince on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Try to set the night on fire.
In January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to number 2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to number 1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them to number 1 in the U.S. in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
In March of 67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of 67, Give Me Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to number 7 in the U.S., with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits number 4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the U.S. as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the U.S. album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967, coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to reflect on the reality of his first platinum record.
I can tell you when I bought my first platinum record, which was Cuts Like a Knife, and I can remember after getting the record and thinking, oh, this is great, you know, and sticking it up and looking at it and thinking, yeah, cool. And then phoning up my manager about 3 months later and saying, you know, Bruce, this record went platinum, but we didn't make any money. Well, you know, where's the money? And he said, well, you know, you basically paid back everything you spent and you basically did for the last 4 years. So you may have a platinum record, but, you know, sorry, there's no money. It wasn't until then I realized how tough it was. And okay, yeah, you might get a single that goes to top 10 and maybe you get 2 and maybe you sell a schooling records because of it, but doesn't mean you can go out and buy a house.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
It's D&D on the Game Radio Network. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, and Dave Gasper on this Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Still to come, we will hear from Luke Fickell, his portion of his news conference from yesterday. That'll come up after Bruisers Bites in the 1 o'clock hour of the program as we talk all things Wisconsin Badgers athletics. Although there is, as I understand it, a slight detour as we welcome in our good friend, 24/7 sports beat writer, Nick Osen, to the program. And Nick, instead of talking about, I've been informed that you want to give a Packers grade of what we were just talking about a couple minutes ago. So the floor is yours, my friend.
Guys, great. Yeah, great to be back. I appreciate it. You know, I was a little bit ahead of my stories today and was listening for the last 25 minutes to your great show. And I think that all the arguments were pretty good. You know, I might even lean a little bit closer to Doug, maybe not full kind of C level, but I said B-. You know, I mean, I think the points about Gutekunst and obviously really the roster that's been assembled, these guys have just about everything they would have needed at every position, right? Whether through trades, free agency, and obviously the draft. So I do think there's some level of a little bit of disappointment so far. However, all that can probably be wiped away and probably a little bit closer to maybe a B+ or so next week if they take down the Eagles.
All right. Well, you know what, though? It is a week-to-week league because after the Steelers, my grade would not have been a C. It probably would have been closer to a B. So now if you take down the Philadelphia Eagles, defending Super Bowl champions, you know.
Nick's got his Bears at an A+.
Well, they're starting to get it.
I would have my Bears probably, higher than the Packers in terms of a grade, right? It's all about expectations. I will say if they get to 6-3, they are sniffing an A there, Bruce.
I listen. I'll say this. I know we'll get to some Badgers talk here in just a second, but you look at the innovative offense that Ben Johnson has been starting to unveil. You look at that Cincinnati game. That was a fun game to watch. If you're a Bears fan, sorry, just watch it. It was. I mean, you're doing end arounds, you're doing misdirections, you're opening up the playbook. I thought it was a lot of fun to watch. I'm not a Bears fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I am a little bit envious about what Ben Johnson's dialing up with Caleb there.
Yeah, you won't get any push there from me, Doug. I think obviously some of the receiver passes, putting Caleb as a wideout, a pass catcher a couple times. He caught a touchdown, caught, I think, 2 passes as a whole. Johnson's been great. There's a long way to go, and the Bears just made a little bit of an addition at edge rusher, so we'll see. I'm always very respectful of the Packers, one of the most consistent orgs in sports, but the little brothers from the Bears might be coming a little bit.
Well, let's talk about the opposite end of the spectrum offensively. You go from a lot of fun in Chicago to, whether it's in Madison or elsewhere, not so much fun to watch the Badgers offense. They finally get in the end zone late in the game against Oregon. Thanks, Eugene Hilton. He had it himself, but they finished off that drive with a score with Lance Mason. You were at the presser yesterday. You listened to Coach Fickell for 30 minutes. What was your greatest takeaway?
Yeah, Bruce, it was a longer presser. He even made a comment about that after, which was a little bit funny. But I would say, and if I had to pick one, I think it's something that, look, I've been reporting with you guys and on my site for weeks, and now it sounds like it's really going to come to fruition. There are going to be a lot of opportunities for these younger guys. Am I saying Carter Smith is going to come out and start? No, I'm not saying that, but I think you'll get some glimpses of him potentially this month. Obviously, the linebackers we've talked about, Ituka, it seems like he's put himself in a great spot. Eugene Hilton, I wouldn't be shocked to see more of the younger old linemen, whether it's because of the way the season's gone, right? Injuries, guys practicing well. I think that it is time for those guys, both literally I think it's going to happen as well as it should be. And as we look, Doug asked me a couple weeks ago, what is a positive or two that you can take? I understand it's been a really tough fall. Some of the early potential and contributions and development of those young players have been there. I think you're going to see a lot more of that these next few weeks, Nick.
And Nick, too, with the rule about playing 4 games and still keeping a red shirt, how much do you think that comes into play for some of these guys that we haven't yet seen it at any point this year, such as a Carter Smith and now him being in the mix at quarterback? How much do you think that red shirt year is playing a factor in some of these decisions?
Yeah, Dave, I think it plays a huge role, right? I mean, especially at a position like that. Again, I'm not venturing too far with my assessment, but I absolutely will be shell-shocked if you don't see him at some point in these next few weeks. And I think it just kind of lined up, fairly well with the schedule, right? It's not going to be an easy last month by any means. I mean, you continue to look at who this team has to face, but you get Ohio State out of the way. The Oregon trip happens to be the final bye week after that. And then things open up a little bit. Now, a lot of these guys we've mentioned have already played that many games, Dave. I'm thinking of Catalano, Posa. I believe Skanes has, or he's certainly on the edge, and he's going to obviously pass that, and some of the other offensive guys. But, I just think it's going to be really intriguing at some of those premium positions. I'll even throw out safety, right? With some of the injuries that have unfortunately gone down in that room. That's a spot. It's really tough to play 65, 70 snaps by yourself in a game. I know we've seen it with Austin Brown and Hunter Wohler and Zachlin before, but I think that's another spot. Grant Dean, maybe Luke Emmerich, some of those younger guys. Give these guys chances, right? Because as this staff and the program look for some positives foundationally, I don't think you have to go any deeper than that, Dave.
The flip side, those we're joined by 24/7 Sports Badgers beat writer Nick Osen here on DND is Aiden Reeder. He decommits from the class of 2026. How much of a loss is Reeder?
Yeah, Doug, this is an unfortunate one. I mentioned about Tayshawn Bardo a couple weeks ago. That truly was a little bit of both ways. That was not just the young man's decision. That was not just Wisconsin, but it kind of led itself that way. this is a guy they obviously would have loved to have. Good player, really good kid, like high academics kid. And, once he got that Michigan offer, I reported and my colleagues did, hey, this is going to be one to look out for. And from my understanding, if he ends up at Michigan, which things are certainly trending that way with the timing, I think it was kind of the lack of stability this season, obviously with the way the Badgers season's gone. I think it's some of the pro development that has been talked about. Now, if you ask me, and you didn't ask this, but if you asked me to look for a potential silver lining, which I often do in life, I would say, look, it is at the position where you're talking about these true freshmen in Madison potentially being 4-year starters. So, you do seemingly have some foundation there, but this was not one you hoped or expected. And again, Doug, a good player and a great initial get from the staff that's looking like he's going to be playing in maize and blue going forward.
Looking at the basketball team last night, Nick, you were in attendance. Dave and I did the post-game show. We spoke with you. We saw a Badgers team kind of fight and claw to stay with their head above water against a Campbell group that, like most teams in the country, is retooled after last year. New head coach, pretty new roster. But they separated down the stretch, and John Blackwell puts up 31 points. Let's start with him. It's the second highest total he's put up in his career. Blackwell took a step towards the NBA, decided it wasn't right for him, stays around for year 3, and I think we're reaping the benefits pretty quickly.
Yeah, my friend, I don't usually do this, but I know that you're on our boards and you like some of those deeper stories. I actually just put about a 1,000-word one right before this segment. I kind of do it for every game when I can, the nick of time, just some final thoughts. And I'm ready. I don't think this is the hottest take. I know I said it with you guys last night, but it is a word that's thrown around too often, really in today's day and age, and it's superstar. I think that John Blackwell is following in the steps of Tonje and Johnny Davis a few years ago, and some of the guys at the end of the Bo Ryan era too, as the next superstar for the Badgers. I think obviously if you want to nitpick, you can about one thing or two, but he played nearly a flawless game, and his game is just so complete. He can score at all 3 levels. He brings it defensively. He's looking to grow in an area or two, but he's just so mature. Guard talked about that. Like one of the nicest, most affable guys. I know Guard has said you wouldn't expect that he's the star, just the way he's just kind of one of the guys and so humble. Nick, it's a huge, we'll say quote unquote addition, right? Obviously we all expected him back, but I know that he took that to the deadline a little bit closely. And I know Badger fans on my site were worried. So just to have him, what would you say? I mean, night one, he's a top 5 or 6 player in the country. Overall, you're probably looking at a top 15 to 20 guy. Like really, really impressive. And again, just credit to what he did this offseason.
Yeah, and one of those you had a lot of other big additions to this lineup, Nick, coming in the transfer portal. Nick Boyd, one of them, he had a big game, but also Andrew Rohde, Austin Rapp. What did you make of the transfer additions in the starting lineup yesterday in their first official games as Badgers?
Yeah, Dave, I thought they were good. I thought Boyd was really good. I know we talked about some of his speed and taking care of the ball kind of at the end of our show last night with you guys. I thought that Rohde, he's the guy that, and I mentioned it on kind of a fun superlatives thing last week. The stats won't always jump off the page for him, but in terms of a role and what they need and guard maturity and senior leadership, Rohde's always going to bring that. And then Austin Rapp, I thought he was certainly solid, and I think that ceiling is only going to grow going forward for him once he gets a little bit more used to the defensive end, as Guard says, and efficiency, taking care of the ball. But like offensively, guys, I don't think you could really find a single complaint from that game. I mean, turning it on to 96 points nearly in the blink of an eye.
Nick, what do the Badgers have to do? What do they have to accomplish before the Big Ten season starts?
Yeah, Doug, I think number one, it's really ironing out that rotation. I think that it's getting there, certainly, but you're going to need to rely on some youth. I have written that a lot. And when people do look for an area of, hey, where can you be critical or a little bit concerned? It can be a little scary relying on such young guys. So I think you need to iron that out, Doug. I think that chemistry between Boyd and JB and those guards needs to continue to grow. It's good, but we saw last year's team, and there were times it looked just like the Showtime Lakers out there, not just in terms of highlights, but really the chemistry. You saw it a little bit those last 5 minutes last night. I know there's a highlight that's been circulating today. So I think you want to see more of that. And then just obviously defensively, Doug, ironing out some of the in-scheme defensive rotation. It's not going to be perfect. It's a big step up for a lot of these guys, but you're not going to play much for guard in the staff if you can't defend. And I think that's a good thing. So you can take care of those things, win a good non-con game or two, obviously plenty of others, but a marquee one, then you're sitting pretty heading into the Big Ten season.
Nick Osen, Badger 247, joining us here on DND on the game. Nick, your return to the beat here at Wisconsin after being away for a few years following your graduation, it aligned pretty well with the NIL era, the emergence of the transfer portal, and you've seen this program grow over the last few seasons. What does Wisconsin do best that maybe other programs haven't done well enough so far?
Bruce, that's an awesome question. I would say I wrote a pretty big feature on this spring. Fortunate to talk with a lot of the staff. I think guard, Krabbenhoff, Chambliss, Randall, like the entire staff, Mark Van Wettering, they don't get away from what's made them Wisconsin, if that makes sense. They will hit the portal. They obviously, you need to spend money to get these guys. So they're of course using the NIL. They're trying to retain, but there really is still a culture and a foundation that is true and needs to be followed. And I think that sometimes explains, not always, but sometimes some of the players that have left and it hasn't really worked out here, and some that have been such easy, seamless fits, like a Boyd so far. John Tonje is maybe the best example. Blackwell, obviously, he came in as a high schooler, but just really some of that, Bruce. I think being able to adapt while not really shifting what you're fully about here as a Badger.
Nick, we appreciate the time and the insights so much. We'll talk again soon.
Looking forward to it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. There he goes, 24/7 Sports Badgers beat writer Nick Osen. Kind enough to spend a few minutes with us, giving us his insights here on DND. We've got one more hour to go. Bruiser's Bites coming up straight ahead. Also taking your letter grades for the halfway point. We're almost at, it's hard to pinpoint the exact halfway point of the NFL season. It's a halftime basically for the Packers of their next game because of the odd number of games. We'll just call it, we're rounding up, as they say. Mm-hmm. What's your letter grade for this team? Dave has them at a B+. Nick has them as at a B. I've got them at a C. What is yours? Talk and text line open to you. 877-794-1973. Again, Bruiser's Bites coming up straight ahead. We got one more hour to go. Stay with us on the game.
Want to watch DND? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like them even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Boston band Aerosmith released their debut album. At Ferris Poorly, it would be re-released in 76 and yield a top 10 hit, Dream On.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, right on that.
Elvis Presley's live TV special, Aloha from Hawaii, is watched by more than 1 billion people worldwide and introduces the world to the rhinestone white jumpsuit. In February of 73, Alice Cooper has a #1 album with Billion Dollar Babies, along with 3 top 40 singles. Elton John also has a #1 album and his first #1 single with Crocodile Rock. Paul McCartney and Wings have a #1 single with My Love, and the Stooges signed to Columbia Records and released their final album, Raw Power, produced by David Bowie. In March, Pink Floyd releases the now legendary Dark Side of the Moon. It goes to #1 and becomes one of the best-selling albums of all time.
And everything under the sun is you, and the sun is a great spot.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Billy Joel songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, My Life.
I don't care what you say anymore. This is my life. Go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone.
Number 2. It's still rock and roll to me.
Nowadays you can't be too sentimental. Your best bet's a true baby blue continental. Hot funk, cool punk, even if it's old junk, still rock and roll to me.
Number 1. Uptown Girl.
She's been living in her white bread world as long as anyone with hot blood can. And now she's looking for a downtown man. That's what I am.
Hear more from Billy Joel and similar artists now. Search for Billy Joel on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
If you missed No BS, you missed out on this.
How much emotion was in that game last week in Pennsylvania against the Pittsburgh Steelers? How much the young team put into playing and being up and being ready for that game, and how much emotion went into that victory and a 2-touchdown win Sunday Night Football. It was a predictable spot for emotion to not be able to rise to that occasion. That's a great learning lesson in the NFL. And even though us as fans and feel like, well, you should have learned that lesson in 2023 when you went to New York and got DeVito'd, right? Because we think of beating Detroit, beating Kansas City, Thanksgiving night, Sunday Night Football at home, maybe 2 best wins that Jordan Love has had as a starter.
Sure.
Then you go on Monday Night Football and lose to the Giants, right? Being able to follow up those highly emotional victories with another great performance, that's something you got to learn. That's the consistency part of it. Again, they are one of the youngest teams in pro football. You're not using it as an excuse or just an explanation or a statement, but you're learning year in and year out how to win.
Billy and Armin are talking about all of your favorite teams each morning from 6 to 10 on The Game.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Journey songs that you thumbed up. Number 3. Separate Ways, Worlds Apart.
Someday love will find you. Break those chains that bind you. One night will remind you. Oh, we touched the way on separate ways.
Number 2. Any Way You Want It.
Beautiful change. Oh, she said, any way you want it, that's the way it needs. Any way you want it. Oh, I said, any way you want it, that's the way it needs. Any way you want it.
Number 1. Don't Stop Believing.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street life, people.
Hear more from Journey and similar artists now. Search for Journey on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
What you waiting for? Let's go. Make sure to make us a preset on the iHeartRadio app so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Wisconsin's home for sports and stuff. We are The Game.
Final hour of D&D underway here on the Game Radio Network. Our flagship 1070, The Game in Madison. You can also find us on the iHeartRadio app. You can find us on Twitter, X if you prefer. Is the Facebook thing back up and running?
Yes, it is. We are back on Facebook.
Excellent.
We have mended fences with Mark Zuckerberg once again, and we should be good to go.
He is a mercurial fellow, isn't he?
He is.
You can also find us on YouTube. And did I mention the iHeartRadio? Listen, if you're out there and you found us, thank you. We appreciate it very much, especially if you are one of our Milwaukee listeners and it takes a little bit extra effort to come and find us. We do appreciate that very much. Brewster's Bites coming up in just a second. We are getting some news that the Packers could be interested in not only a replacement for Tucker Kraft, but potentially a Pro Bowl replacement for it.
Yeah.
It's not like being a pro. I mean, listen, being a Pro Bowl means you're pretty good at what you're doing, but the Pro Bowl isn't really even a thing anymore. They just need to take that thing out.
It doesn't mean what it used to.
Doesn't mean what it used to.
Oh, you talking Njoku? Okay, yeah. I was confused. For
No,
a second.
well,
no.
Well, according to Easton Butler, a Packer report, the Packers are attempting to complete a trade for Raiders tight end Michael Mayer. We'll see if it happens, but that's the rumor that's out there.
Yeah.
He was a Pro Bowler. That's my confusion. I mean, I don't know if he was a Pro Bowler.
I don't know if anybody's a Pro Bowl. There isn't a Pro Bowl. There isn't a Pro Bowl anymore because you can have like 12 alternates for a Pro Bowl.
He's got a career high of 304 yards. So I wasn't sure if he was like a 75th alternate one of these years, Doug. I got confused. And Njoku was a Pro Bowler. So I thought that's who you were talking about.
I think the term Pro Bowl is overused right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
it
fine.
It doesn't look like Michael Mayer has made a Pro Bowl in his career.
So you look at the other end of the spectrum, not Pro Bowl, but all pro. Sauce Gardner is now the youngest two-time, multiple-time all-pro player to be traded midseason ever.
Really?
Wow.
25 years old.
Okay.
Midseason. 25 years old and midseason. That's the combination that we're looking at here with the all pros that he has already got into his name.
That I did not know. Okay.
Regardless, if the Packers do trade for a Pro Bowl tight end, I think we'd all enjoy it.
If it's Njoku, sure.
Yeah. As long as it's an actual Pro Bowl tight end.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
but there isn't a Pro Bowl now.
You still get named to it.
Yeah, I suppose. It's
Yeah.
like it's a Tuesday thing they do in a ballroom now, and everybody declines it. So when somebody says somebody's a Pro Bowler, I just kind of take it with it. It's okay. Sure.
They just moved that to Super Bowl week now, too, right? I mean,
Yeah,
now
they've moved it to a ballroom Super Bowl week that Tuesday. That's what the Pro Bowl is now. Put it down. Put it out of its misery.
That's what a lot of people were feeling about the MLB All-Star game when Jacob Mizorowski gets named after just 5 starts.
Well, that was a ridiculous take. It was still a game.
Yeah.
The baseball
Right.
All-Star game is still at least a thing.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, it was the wrong decision. I mean, it just was. I mean, I wish Miz would have lived up to it the rest of the season, but
They
he
also
did
called
not.
12 other pitchers. to
Yeah,
try
everybody
and
else
get in there.
declined. I mean, that's how, again, when I go back to saying somebody's a Pro Bowler, you look at some of the alternates, especially at some positions like quarterback. I mean, you're getting down to like the last guy on the roster. So when they say Michael Mayer, maybe I read the headline wrong, but it's like, just take it with it. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Because it's just something that at least I don't. Because when I was coming of age as a football fan, I always looked forward to the Pro Bowl because it was the week after the Super Bowl. And even if you played in the Super Bowl, you were still expected to go to the Pro Bowl. Like after Super Bowl 31, after the Packers beat the Patriots, the return to Titletown didn't have the quarterback there because he had to get on a plane to go to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl when they actually played a tackle football game at Aloha Stadium. Now they're playing Pro Bowl games in a ballroom the Tuesday before the Super Bowl. Pro Bowl means nothing anymore.
Yeah. I
That is
completely
true.
agree.
It's garbage. It's
Yeah.
irrelevant. It never made sense why they went in the direction they did, the creative decisions that were made. They should have incentivized it one way or another, right? Hey,
Yeah.
Pro Bowl team that wins, you all get $15,000 bonuses or $50,000.
I think they
bonuses.
tried, just nobody wanted to play tackle football one more week.
Yeah, after they're already done for several weeks trying to get ready for, next season after a long season.
That's
And
right.
Yeah, it's
Sean
tough.
Taylor murdered that punter. I mean, that was the start of the end in the early 2000s when he blew up that punter in the Pro Bowl games.
Yeah.
Sean Taylor and murder in the same sentence is tough.
Yeah.
Well, is we're one of the worst tragedies in NFL history in terms of talent being cut down early. I think that'd be an easy way to look at that. Sean
tragedy.
Taylor, an incredible
Him,
player.
Pat Tillman.
Every way.
Yeah.
Well, Pat Taylor or Pat Tillman wasn't
Tillman.
murdered.
Well,
Tillman
he
wasn't
was.
murdered. But he went to war. I mean,
right.
that's
Friendly
not
fire.
exactly
we could
the
go down
same
that
thing.
rabbit hole. It sounds like it might have been friendly fire.
We have more breaking news just coming out now. Another blockbuster involving the New York Jets. The New York Jets are trading Pro Bowl defensive tackle Quinnen Williams to the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, they probably got the Packers' first-round pick.
They
The
might have.
Packers are sending a first-round pick and more to the New York Jets.
They might have just got the Packs pick.
Probably.
They just might have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either that or Dallas's pick, but
New York gets a 2026 first rounder. That's all they say so far.
Okay.
Yeah, but it
is significant if it'll be the Packers versus the Cowboys pick, which one they're going to get.
Yeah, Cowboys getting a pass rusher, getting a guy on
Imagine
that defensive
that.
line. Imagine that.
Imagine
who would have thunk?
He's an incredible player.
Oh, he's fantastic.
You have to imagine Breece Hall is going to be dealt here too.
He is a Pro Bowler, 3-time Pro Bowler,
All-Pro,
Quinnen Williams. Yes, he has actually made the Pro Bowl before. Whether he actually played in the game or not, I don't know, but
who knows?
Still, Quinnen Williams.
But it's not a game. It's a practice. It's not a game.
We're talking about practice. Yeah.
Going all out.
But Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys
for
a first rounder and more.
All right. All right.
Let's
Nick,
do this while we can.
Let's do this while we can. Here's Nick with Bruiser's Bites.
Time now for Bruiser's Bites.
Bruiser's Bites are brought to you by Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com, garage floors, garage cabinetry, anywhere that you have concrete. Look up wiconcretecoatings.com to see the great work that they do. We'll continue to monitor X, I'm sure, and other sources as the trade deadline is heating up today. So we'll get started right away with the Packers, and we'll go to a national voice. This is Big Cat of Barstool on some rarefied air that Jordan Love joined in his young career earlier this season.
I have a stat I don't want to say, but I'm going to say it because we are a national sports podcast and we do unbiased previews. Jordan Love is one of 3 NFL quarterbacks to post in his first 40 career starts 70-plus passing touchdowns, 25 or fewer interceptions. The other 2 quarterbacks are Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. I hate that. But Jordan Love seemingly is pretty good at football.
No doubt he's pretty good at football, but why does it feel like he's not quite that good? Like, I mean, those are 2 of the greatest, certainly in this era, maybe of all time. And it does not feel like his career has been that similar to theirs to this point.
The easy answer is because of who he's following. He's following 2 Hall of Famers. That's why. That's why it doesn't feel that great. When you have to follow Aaron Rodgers, what Rodgers did was unprecedented almost. I mean, at least when Steve Young supplanted Joe Montana in San Francisco, Steve Young had a body of work beneath him. He was a starting quarterback for both the LA Express and the USFL when that was actually a thing. And then also for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though they weren't very good. He was the backup in San Francisco, but he had a body of work beneath him. And then, so Steve Young then turned himself into a Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers had no body of work when he was following one of the greatest quarterbacks at the time, one of the greatest quarterbacks, top 5 quarterback of all time in Brett Favre. And Rodgers then did better than Favre did. So that's the bar that's been set. It's an impossibly high bar to cross. If you, again, look at Jordan Love's numbers compared to where Aaron Rodgers was at the same point of his career, very, very similar, strikingly similar. But you just have so much to live up to when you've got number 12. That was the guy that was your, I don't know if mentor is too strong a word, but you were his backup for 3 years. And now you've got to at least come close to satiating a fan base that has gotten used to and has taken, I believe, in no small way for granted, Hall of Fame quarterback play. That's why it doesn't feel that special.
Yeah, I completely agree with Doug there. I mean, when you have to follow Rodgers, when you have to follow Favre, it's incredibly tough to do. Having a Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame 4-time MVP quarterback that you have to follow, obviously it's going to be down a little bit. And when the guy before you also had to follow a Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame quarterback, and he not only met that, but exceeded it, I think there is kind of that thought, well, oh yeah, I mean, we can just find a 3rd straight Hall of Fame quarterback. Totally. I mean, that's just totally normal. It happens all the time, right? That's just how it's going to go. And maybe that's not going to be how it goes. Maybe Jordan Love is just, really good and doesn't feel like he's on that trajectory yet. It's still early. But yeah, when you have to follow the guy who already raised the bar on an already high bar, it just is so hard to clear.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, guys. I mean, Rodgers didn't do what Love just did, right? The numbers that were just laid out there by Big Cat. Rodgers was not one of the 2 guys. Mahomes and Lamar Jackson were the 2 to have done that in 40 games.
Aaron Rodgers also never completed 20 passes in a game. like
in a row.
consecutively.
Yeah. 20 straight
Incredible.
passes. Yeah.
Incredible. Honestly, I don't even think JJ McCarthy has completed 20 in a game quite yet. So we'll see about that.
He'll probably still be a Pro Bowler. Go on.
Yeah.
He will be, I would assume. A lot of guys opt out. Tucker Kraft done for the year. Romeo Dobbs, this is what he had to say about losing his teammate for the season.
I get to watch him work his craft every single day, and he's one of our leaders on his team. So not the best feeling in the world, not something that you want to see, not something that you want to wish on anyone that you love or hate. But in this league, it just comes down to the next man up.
Does Dobbs become the unquestioned go-to guy as a pass catcher in that offense?
No. Unquestioned? No.
He's been that guy already, and now Kraft is out. In terms of targets and catches,
but it's
dominate.
It's not unquestioned. He gets himself open. I admire the fact that, he and Jordan Love have a great trust that's built. But, you've got Jaden Reed, who's out, who should be back in a couple of weeks. Christian Watson has taken a step forward and will continue to as long as he stays healthy. I'm a little bit concerned about Matthew Golden, even though Matt LaFleur has said that the injury isn't long term, but you never like to see that. I don't think there's any unquestions right now. I think that Luke Musgrave is going to get a lot of targets that otherwise would have gone to Tucker Kraft, and I'd like to see him step up. It's not a knock on Rome. I think that Romeo Dobbs is certainly in the mix. Absolutely. Yeah. But I don't think he's the unquestioned at all.
Yeah, I think you could maybe make a case for Romeo Dobbs as the unquestioned red zone target for Jordan Love, because whenever they're in the red zone, it seems like he is always looking to find Kraft. Yeah, he's always looking to find Romeo Dobbs, and if it's not Kraft, it's going to be him. So I think in the red zone, that's an area where we could see him a little bit more as that unquestioned guy. But overall, I mean, you do have Christian Watson back, and he's kind of been somewhat of a favorite for Jordan Love as well since he's been back out on the field. So it's not quite totally unquestioned, but I think the red zone targets are going to continue to trend upwards.
Understanding injuries are involved, and Christian Watson's back, and Reed will be back. As it stands now, Dobbs has 23 more targets than anyone else active and healthy on their pass catching group. So we'll see how it stands at the end of the year, but I would look at Dobbs right now as the go-to guy. Just depends on how you quantify.
Yeah. I mean, injuries are part of that, though, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, you either got a guy coming back from injury in Christian Watson or a guy who's not back yet in Jaden Reed.
That's fair.
Matthew Golden. We'll see. Maybe they add a guy now. I mean, keeping one eye on everything that's going on in the NFL.
As am I.
Cowboys, whatever. We'll move on to
whatever.
The Milwaukee Bucks, who won last night, 117-115 on this shot, as we heard earlier, but we'll hear again from Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Switched out on him. Giannis with the back down. The paint away. The shot. It's good. With zeros on the shot clock. Giannis with the game winner.
Giannis out to a great start. As to be expected from one of the best to ever do it this season. 33 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists last night. A game winner for him. Bucks 5-2. That's a pretty good start. We touched on it earlier. When you look at Giannis and the prospect of him winning another MVP, does he have to, I don't know, reimagine what's possible? Because at this point, it feels like he's might have been on the wrong end of voter fatigue a couple of times.
Oh, he's definitely been on the wrong end of voter fatigue a couple of times. He's had better seasons than the 2 years that he won the MVP. I think part of that, though, right now is team success, and that's why I think that he got robbed a couple of times. I mean, the Bucks won an NBA championship. Giannis had a better season than when he did win MVP, and he got passed over again. He's been a finalist, feels like more times than he hasn't been over the last decade. I mean, can he win another one? Sure, but I think part of that is going to be the Bucks need to get out of the first round of the playoffs for that voter fatigue, if you will, to reset. I think there's voter fatigue. Like Jokic, I think, was part of voter fatigue last year. SGA had a great season, don't get me wrong, but I still think that Jokic probably had the better year of the two. But then again, SGA led his team to an NBA championship. So will there be voter fatigue for him? Probably not this year, but maybe the year after that. The way that NBA voters vote for their MVP awards is just absurd and has been for at least a generation. The best player should be the MVP. Michael Jordan should have about 12 of them, and he doesn't. So I don't take too much stock into that. Giannis is a 2-time league MVP. I don't think that he's going to get another one, but I do think that it's possible.
Yeah, I'm with you, Doug. Voter fatigue is just ridiculous to me. You vote for the best player for MVP, and Giannis several times has been the best player in the league, but has not gotten the recognition. I think they are going to need to make a deep playoff run, potentially win the NBA Finals again for NBA voters to give him an MVP award again, or it's going to take him going to a different team. If he finally requests a trade and goes to the New York Knicks, do you think he's going to win MVP in his first year there? Probably. Even if that year is statistically not quite as good as his previous ones, they'd give him that award because he finally got himself out of Milwaukee. So I think that might also have to be what it takes for him to win another award. Just like, okay, yes, we get it. You've won enough over there. We're going to give it to everyone else until you decide to leave, because the NBA wants Giannis out of Milwaukee.
I mean, and the other thing is, you look at his points per game average the 2 years that he did win the MVP, 27.7 points and 29.5. So that was below 30. I know you're not supposed to have a lot of numbers on a radio show. I get that because it's visual. But there have been other years that, okay, so when the Bucks didn't win the NBA Finals, he averaged just under 30, 29.9. And then the next 4 years, over 30 points a game. Hasn't even sniffed MVP consideration.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
Ridiculously talented. Quinnen Williams, who is ridiculously talented in the NFL, as the Cowboys acquire him from the Jets. We are now getting word on what the actual draft picks sent away were. The Cowboys sent away their 26 second-round pick and their 2027 first-round pick. It's not a Packers pick. It's a Cowboys first-rounder in 2027 heading back to the Jets, as well as the Cowboys 2026 second-round pick.
It makes sense if you're the Jets. Yeah, because
doubt.
you just hit the complete reset, because they tried with Rodgers to capitalize on what they thought was a great defense, and the Rodgers thing failed. Joe Douglas got fired. There's their general manager. They fired their head coach. They brought in all new guys.
Brick Johnson, potentially running the team, potentially not. Yeah.
So,
but,
point.
Yeah.
And now Breece Hall is like, can you send me out too?
Yeah, Breece Hall is
Can you
like,
get rid of me?
He's got one suitcase in one hand and another suitcase in another, and he's got a big old backpack and saying, where am I going?
Yeah, where's my plane ticket?
I want out.
I'm just gonna head to LaGuardia, and I'm just gonna wait for you to tell me where to fly to.
You guys just let me know. He's probably heading over to Newark. It's even closer.
Yeah, maybe Newark.
You know what? I mean, he might be so anxious. He might have hired a private jet. He might go all net jet and go over to Teterboro and just say, you know what? I need out, because they fired Robert Saleh, fired Joe Douglas. They bring in Aaron Glenn from the Lions to be their new head coach, and he's got a different way of doing things. They suck right now, but you know what? Let's build for the future. It's the only thing they can do. Breece Hall is as good as gone. At least he hopes he is.
They won their last game, so Williams and Sauce end their Jets careers with a victory
Good for them.
in hand. Additional compensation as this continues to come out. Mozzie Smith, the 2023 first-round pick for the Cowboys, a defensive lineman who has not done anything this season, literally. Just 2 total tackles, none of which were solo. He heads back to the Jets as well. So a fresh start for Smith with New York. And we'll end here with last night, what we saw, a fresh start for Nick Boyd, his third team in his college career with the Wisconsin Badgers now, after last season with San Diego State and a few seasons at Florida Atlantic. This is what he had to say about him and John Blackwell in the backcourt for Wisconsin.
I mean, there was sometimes like I just get in the paint and the paint is collapsing. He's just wide open. So because we can get downhill so dynamically, it allows us to have, just open looks, man. So his pressure on the rim opens it up for me. And I think my pressure, allowed him to get some threes off. So that's what I'm looking to do. And it just takes a load off myself to do everything. So I'm glad that I'm in the backcourt with him.
Badgers guards combined for 52 points last night in their season opener, 31 for Blackwell, 21 for Boyd. I just feel like this is going to be a lot of fun to watch these two cook this season together, not to mention the other guys in the offensive repertoire of guys like Rhodey, Rapp, and Winter in that starting lineup.
Yeah, I think they're a good team. I think they're going to do well in the Big Ten this year. They've got some talent. Bringing John Blackwell back is critical for this team. I'm anxious to see the competition ramp up. Sometimes I think all teams, and it's not just, we talked about the Packers playing down to the level of their opponents. I think that maybe last night, Wisconsin with the 10-point lead over a team that literally no one else in the world has heard of. I don't know if they're playing with their food a little bit, but they certainly imposed their will in the second half, which you like to see. Final score indicative of how lopsided it probably should have been. I'll be anxious to see what things look like when the competition ramps up and, the Badgers are forced to, and I'd say this about every team, kind of forced to play their A game, because I'm not sure that we've seen it yet. And nor should we have seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, you're still trying to get these guys to mesh. You got a whole bunch of transfers coming in. You got a whole bunch of true freshmen in there as well in that rotation. So trying to find ways to make the lineup work, because you've only really had 2 actual games against other teams in exhibition, and now this is your 3rd game that you've played against someone else. So it's still going to take some time to get all of that to mesh together. It may take a couple of weeks, a couple more games. But we saw it over the course of this one, that chemistry kind of starting to build, the offense finding its stride a little bit, the defense finding its stride. So you kind of see that over the course of some of these early games. And in the second half, they were able to put together a very strong effort to knock down the Campbell Fighting Camels. So I'm very excited to see what this group can do as they continue to mesh going forward.
I got a couple of quick notes on the way out of Bruiser's Bites. Matt Brown on X of Extra Points. It's an outlet. It has this in terms of per capita, what college football team stadium has sold the most booze? No surprise. This season, University of Wisconsin-Madison leads the way with 255,122 units sold so far for just north of $3 million in total revenue, which is $1 million higher than the next closest team, the University of Nebraska. So buying booze, whether it's because you want them or because you need them, watching this Badgers group, Wisconsin is leading the way there.
Likely
and
the
then
latter.
Finally, Dave, you touched on this, man, and I think it's kind of crazy how, world has changed. Certainly, I was a freshman in 2019 here, talked about cloning and how people are going to do it with their pets. And apparently Tom Brady has done it with his current dog, Junie, who is a clone of his late dog, Lua, who died in 2023. The dogs were cloned by Colossal Biosciences, a biotech company that Brady is an investor in, using blood collected prior to his prior dog's death. Where do you stand on cloning your pets? It's a damn good pet. You want it again? Might as well, right?
No.
This is how you know you've got too much money.
Yeah,
it's happening. I mean,
there's a lot of things that are happening that
you like its temperament, you like its personality.
Look, I love my dog. I love Millie. I am not even thinking of trying to clone her, and have a like those dogs. Like it is like individual, you know, like every dog is going to be different. Even if you do get a clone, there's going to be something different in terms of that dog. And I think each dog is special on their own, and should be remembered that way, and not try to just be cloned with all this whatever. So it just leads to so many problems, and I hate it.
It's going to be another one of those occasions where, oh, dang it, Dave, you're 100% right.
No, I appreciate that.
I hate it. I hate it because, listen, there are a couple of things that I just have no space in my brain for. And one of those things is dog breeds. My wife loves beagles. She grew up with beagles. Here, I'll give you an example. And she's like, oh, it's a beagle. Every time she says a beagle, it's a beagle. All I see is a dog. If you brought in Millie, you know what you know what the dog breed of Millie is? I've seen pictures, but you know what, in my mind it is? She's a sweetie pie good girl.
Yes.
That's
100% very good girl.
That is her breed.
Yeah. 100% purebred, very good girl.
Exactly. That's all you need a dog to be.
Yeah.
I had a dog when I was a kid. I've talked about Maggie before, and no, I still don't use her as a password. So, get that out of your mind. But she was a mutt. She was half beagle, half collie. Okay, great. I say that to people, and they're like trying to do the math or something. I'm like, there's no math to do. She was a sweetie pie good girl. That was her breed. She was a mutt.
Yeah.
She was a sweetie pie good girl, and she was a mutt. She was the best. She's also the runt of the litter. She wasn't bred. She was the runt of the litter. She was the most pathetic dog in the box when I was 4 years old, and that was the one that I wanted. And she was the best girl for 16 years. Would I ever want her? Do I miss her? Still to this day? Yes. Would I ever want her clone? That's stupid. She was one of one.
Yeah, absolutely. One of one, cannot do it. And yeah, Millie, she's like 16 different breeds. I did the DNA panels, like 16 different things. Like you couldn't even tell what breed she was.
Well, that's another
even if
thing
you
that I
wanted
would
to.
never do. I would never do a dog.
Yeah. Well, I was curious,
I just
Doug.
don't care.
I was curious, Doug.
Okay.
Everyone was asking me, and I'm just like, I don't know.
No,
But,
because you already had it. She's a sweetie
yeah.
pie good girl.
Yeah, exactly. But it also does kind of give you some sort of insight to like, okay, their temperament, their behavior, that kind of stuff.
That's
so
right.
it does kind of explain some things.
Okay.
But
And if you're
yeah,
ever going to make another one, not cloning, but getting that
No.
configuration of breeds
Millie
together.
was a stray found on the streets of
Thank
Texas.
you. There you go.
Like,
and you rescued her and gave her the best home ever.
Exactly. The rescue, like they found her down there, her mom and her 10 brothers and sisters, and they brought them all up north, and I got her from the rescue.
There you
and,
go.
Yeah, it's
That's the
she's
way.
a stray.
That's the best dog story ever. You pick up a stray, or the rescue picks up a stray. There are so many pets that are out there, and I'm not going to go all Bob Barker on you and go get your pet spayed or neutered, but you should.
You should, yeah.
There are so many dogs that need homes. There are so many pets that need homes. Just go to the Humane Society and adopt one, and you will be rewarded 50-fold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that dog is going to love you better than any other dog out there. I mean, it is. Yeah, go to the Humane Society, go to the shelter, go to a rescue, and get just a absolute loving dog.
Get a sweetie pie good girl or a sweetie pie good boy.
Yes, either one.
Go get yourself a best boy. Who's a good boy? And what's your dog breed? Oh, my dog breed is who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? That's my dog breed.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, you can't clone Wisconsin Concrete Coatings. They are the best, and no one else will be as good as them. WIConcretecoatings.com, always our presenting sponsor of Bruisers Bites.
All right, coming up next, we will hear from the head coach of your Wisconsin Badgers football team. Talked about some injuries, he had some updates for us too. I'm not going to play back the whole thing, but a few minutes of Luke Fickell's news conference from yesterday as they get set to take on Washington, a 3:30 kickoff at Camp Randall Stadium coming up on Saturday. That means that Badgers game day gets underway at 11:30 with you and Reed on Saturday there, Nick?
That is right. 11:30.
All right, there you go. 11:30 for Badgers game day, 3:30 for the kickoff. But Luke Fickell is next. Stay with us. DND on the game.
Listening to DND with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets. Place your bets.
VSiN every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
Admit it, you tried to reenact the water and chair scene. You know you did. 1983's Flashdance was a movie, but we remember the music more. Anyone else have Maniac by Michael Sembello on their jogging playlist? Guilty.
She's a maniac on the floor. And she's dancing.
Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
If you missed no BS, you missed out on this.
Voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee, hanging out with us here. After how emotional Pittsburgh was and how looking forward to Philadelphia, this wasn't super surprising to see the lack of juice, was it?
I would love to argue with you on that, but I really can't. The emotion, the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs, they get even the best of teams. But the key is really the really good, mature teams find a way to play over that. And, you're exactly right, Billy. The emotion, that Pittsburgh game, okay, the players and the coaching staff, especially going into that game, tried to downplay it as best they could. That game meant a lot to that football team. And I saw it in the locker room after the game. Those guys were hanging around in Pittsburgh, and they were savoring the moment. And it was a big deal because it was a time for them to prove that their guy, Jordan Love, not only was surpassing Aaron Rodgers at this stage, a better player, but they were intent that he would be able to beat Aaron Rodgers in a matchup, maybe the only matchup they'll ever have against one another.
Billy and Armin are talking about all of your favorite teams each morning from 6 to 10 on The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of 78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released, Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album, Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But she used to be mine.
In July of 78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of 78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1972.
In May, the Rolling Stones spent the year recording in southern France and released the double album Exile on Main Street. It goes to number 1 in both the U.S. and the U.K. California band the Doobie Brothers score a hit off their second album, Toulouse Street, with the single Listen to the Music. More from the summer of 72, Curtis Mayfield is back on the charts with a soundtrack for the film Superfly. The album yields 2 top 10 hits with Freddy's Dead and the title track. And former Zombies keyboardist Rod Argent has a hit album and a number 5 single in the US and the UK with Hold Your Head Up.
Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up.
Harry Chapin's performance of the song Taxi on The Tonight Show 2 nights in a row leads to a hit. And struggling UK band Mott the Hoop will get help from fan David Bowie, who produces their album and writes them a hit, All the Young Dudes, which peaks at number 3 in the UK and in the top 40 in the States.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972. Coming up.
By the way, it's good for a number of things, including some of those pictures of your dogs, like Aaron from Fond du Lac did.
Oh, that's a great photo.
To be clear, I encourage that.
AI.
Yeah. Well,
Say, look, it's not real. The dog's not smoking.
well, right, but I mean, I think that
Playing poker. I mean, come on.
you know, who knows? I don't
It's AI. I mean, maybe.
Still
Feel free to send
That
them in
might be- that might-
877-794-1973.
Okay, that
real
might
pictures.
that might be his dog. It just might be AI'd up. It might be photoshopped. I don't know that it's not his dog. It might be his dog. It might. I don't think he's smoking a cigar or playing cards.
Generally not healthy for dogs to do
No,
that.
famously.
Playing cards, bad.
Yeah.
They could develop a gambling
I
addiction.
mean, I didn't think that his dog was actually smoking a cigar, but
Yeah, Chauncey
I'm gonna-
Phillips' dog did.
I'm going to take it as at his word that that's his Dalmatian.
That's
if that's what that is. I think it's.
I'm not quite.
That
sure
might be
it's a
some
Dalmatian.
Dalmatian there with the spots, but
Still, I want.
could be a bunch in there.
See, I want pictures.
Oh,
of-
here we go. Mailman Jeff sends in his dog Maple.
Okay.
Maple Girl.
There we go.
Now that's a dog.
That one's a
No,
real
that's-
picture.
That's a good dog.
Yeah. See, that's a What,
Wearing
is
a
that
hoodie.
a boy or girl? I don't know. What do you say?
She.
That's a she.
She.
That's
Maple Girl.
Oh, Maple Girl. Okay, so
dressed
that's
as a pumpkin. Hated it, but so cute.
Sweetie Pie good girl.
Yes,
Yeah, that's right.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
Sweetie Pie good
Millie
girl.
does not like being dressed up either. You know, like putting on like outfits or like as cute as they are, like dressing your dog up and that kind of stuff. Millie hates it. Like her and I have matching Christmas sweaters.
Of course you do. Now you're gonna have to post a picture of that.
Oh, it's already on my Instagram.
Oh, okay. Right.
My sister got it for me as a Christmas gift.
Okay.
Because of course she did. But Millie hates wearing the sweater. She is not a fan of it at all. I may have broken Doug here.
Oh, I think that's fantastic. Now I have to go find it.
Yeah.
Now I have to go find it.
Yeah, it's on my Instagram. It's not like I've
All right, I'll
tried
go
to
find
hide
it.
it.
I'll go find it. I'll go find it.
I don't even know if you follow me on there, Doug.
I think I do. I don't.
It is Aaron's dog.
I think I do. Don't
with AI. So yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'll remedy that. I don't know who I follow and who I don't anymore. All right, I'm gonna go find Dave's picture of him and his Millie. Or he and Millie dressed alike. And in the meantime, Luke Fickell gave us a number of things news-wise from the Badgers football team, including some injury updates. Here's a portion of his news conference from yesterday in the basement of the McLean Center.
Obviously, we'll start just off of a bye week, which is everybody asks, is it a good time for a bye week? And you can always make it a good time. And I think more than anything, that's what we had to do, was make it a good time for a bye week. Focus on the things we had to be able to do. Some of that is health. Some of that is a little bit of rest. And I don't mean resting your body. Sometimes it's even resting your minds. And so our guys were able to keep a schedule on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, be able to get them out of here a little bit on Fridays and things like that, and Saturday, and then come back in here and roll on Sunday. But it is what it is. We know we've got 1 month left guaranteed to us. And the most important thing is, how do we focus on that month? And what are the things that we can do to continue to push forward and keep scratching, clawing, growing in all areas? And so it's unique in what we're going through. But it's not something that's not going to mean a hell of a lot to us, not just as a program and a team, but to each of us individually on how we go forward in whether it's the game of football or the game of life. And so, again, good week to be able to get away a little bit. There are maybe a few updates, and I don't know a ton, but over the bye week with some of the guys, there were some surgeries probably to end guys' seasons. And so I would imagine that guys know Dylan Jones would be done for the year with he had his foot, toe, with like the turf toe thing repaired. Matt Trainer tore his ACL, and he had surgery to, he'll be done for the season. And then Jake Renfro had surgery, and he'll be out for the rest of the season as well. So just a few of those updates. There's, maybe some other things, but I'm sure you guys will ask about them. There's a lot of things we still don't know, even after a week. We'll go out there today and tomorrow and see what we've got and see who's able to go. There's some guys that are obviously going to be very limited, but as we get closer to the weekend, we'll have a better grasp on what those guys can do and what the expectations are. But it's all hands on deck, and a lot of guys that young guys in particular, they're going to have a lot more opportunities in this last month.
Have you made a decision, or do you know if you're going to make a change at quarterback, or what that situation looks like going into this week?
Again, we'll go out there today, kind of seeing where we are. Over the bye week, there's a lot of things that we did, trying to focus in on the things that we can do to get better. And I don't know if there's an exact, and we don't know exactly where we are right now. We got to go through the week and figure out what that is. So there's a lot of variables still to what we're doing at that position in particular.
Luke, is Carter Smith a possibility?
Yeah, Carter Smith's in the mix, so to speak. After a bye week, we got him out there, got some more opportunities for him, and then that's one of those things we'll just have to see. So there's a lot of chances for a lot of guys, but Carter is definitely one of them. And I don't mean that a bye week you get some opportunities to rep younger guys in particular. He was one of them. It wasn't a bye week where we would naturally do a lot of 3s on 3s, and a lot of our 3s are playing some significant roles, or so to speak, we're 3s or the younger guys. And a lot of those guys are of incredible special teams value. So it was hard to, kind of do even some live it up situations with those guys. But Carter got more reps than he would with just going in there with the 3s.
Luke, sticking with Carter, I'm curious if there is a balance in terms of, I'm sure part of you wants to know what you have in him because it helps you plan for the future and the offseason. And yet I'm sure you want him to be ready. Is that how do you balance that?
I don't, there's not an exact to that. I don't think you just throw him out there to see what you have, but you got to prepare him and put him in a situation that if you need him, you got to roll. And if you need him, you'll find out a lot more about, what you really have for the future and moving forward. Otherwise, you're going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what you have for the future based on preparation, based on maturity of how he handles things. But, it's not far-fetched to think that there isn't going to be a role and an opportunity for him if it's not this week here in the near future.
Can you talk about those variables for the quarterback? Like, what are some of the things that you need to see in these weeks of preparation to decide?
Well, it still comes down to what gives us the best chance to win football games, to move the football, to score points. Some of that has to do with the health of the people that are around them and what gives us the best chance and the best opportunity. And that's where it's been tough, right? I mean, it's hard to really evaluate. It's easy to evaluate. You can look at the numbers, but it's hard for me to evaluate deeply on where we are offensively and what it could look like and should look like, just with the sheer fact that there hasn't been a consistent starting lineup. There hasn't been anything that what we saw in the spring and in the fall. So a lot of that is just there's the variables that each and every week that you're trying to piece together, put together what gives you the best chance. And unfortunately, it's what gives you the best chance each week. And that's not a great way to continue to grow, but that's what we've had to do.
All right, that's Luke Fickell. A few minutes of the Badgers head football coach ahead of Saturday's game against Washington. A couple injury updates in there as well. The talk and text line is exploding with pictures of your dogs, and I'm here for it. Including Aaron from Fond du Lac, who does confirm that is his dog. They just did the AI for fun, which I suspected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We should have done this earlier in the show.
Yeah, I know.
Asking for
pictures of your dogs.
What would be best is if these people could find us on YouTube, on X, and send it in that way, because then we could put it up on the screen on the stream. I mean, we're all enjoying these pictures, but we can't convey the awesome dogs to our listeners who aren't watching or looking at our talking text line like we are.
Madtown Ryan has Raven, the dog, dressed up in a sweater. Raven looks like a sweetie pie. I'm not sure if Raven is a boy or a girl, so I don't want to,
don't want to offend.
I don't want to misgender.
Yeah.
Miss Beasley.
I think that one's a girl.
Yeah. That's a girl.
So
well, Miss Beasley.
Yeah. Oliver.
That's from Peeville.
Huge fan of the game is Oliver.
Thank you, Oliver. Oliver's a cutie pie. Absolutely. John and Fondy, my ankle biter, Leo, as Darth Vader for Halloween. Thank you, Leo. See, we love this. This is great.
This is fantastic.
This is what the internet was supposed to be invented for.
Yes. Dog pictures.
Pictures of
all
dogs.
over.
Let's see. Only Phil. Here's a picture of my late dog. His name was Eli Nitro. Smartest dog I ever had.
Aw.
Sorry about your dog. Let's see. Bonnie was found on the streets of Arkansas. She saved me at the end of 2018. My other two girls crossed the Rainbow Bridge earlier that year.
Aw.
Thank you, Mary, for that. Appreciate
Bonnie's
it.
a very good girl.
Appreciate that. And Alex from Cambria, I'm not sure what's up with you right now.
So a lot of emojis.
I think
a lot of emojis.
I think Alex needs a hug. All right, we're going to take a short time out. We're going to give Alex a virtual hug through the magic of and hopefully feeling better about some of the dog pictures that we're getting. But yeah, we should get them up on the screen. That's, like I said, that's what the internet's supposed to be invented for.
Right.
Nothing else other than pictures of your dog. And by the way, I did find your picture with you and Millie.
Thank you, Doug.
It's adorable. And for the record, I was already following you. So there.
Okay, there we go. Good to know. Had to just clarify that.
Right. Stay with us. It's DND on the game.
Watch DND. They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. Billy and Armin are talking about all of your favorite teams each morning from 6 to 10 on The Game.
920 said, love the content, boys, but can we all agree that Keyshawn Nixon is not a number one corner?
Our cornerback unit
Philly as a whole might not be the greatest. I don't think we're going to ever sit around saying this was the best cornerback unit, the position group this Packers team ever had. They do battle out there. They did have some moments where we struggled, but also in a league like this, where there's a lot of passing, that means there's going to be a lot of completions, and a lot of guys are going to be the recipient of a lot of L's. And the receivers.
You're going to hold a lot, yes, no doubt. You're spot on, Armin, and you could not be more accurate here. And I think corner in the National Football League, I get it. Quarterback is the most important position, toughest position, all the mental stuff that you got to go through. From a physically demanding and emotionally testing and trying position, corner is the hardest position to play in the NFL.
Yes.
You are going up against and trying to break up the most expensive pairings in professional sports. Despite the sport, they're going to beat you a number of different times.
Yeah.
So you're going to give up completions, no doubt about it. Now, the one to Roman Wilson, that's a big miss. We can't be letting Roman Wilson get behind us and not know where we are.
Oh, yeah.
That's the issue. But I think on the down in and down out compete factor, the touchdown to DK Metcalf, what are you supposed to do?
He's a big old boy.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1972.
He was singing bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove a Chevy to the levee like the levee was dry. And good old boys drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die.
1972, Don McLean goes to number 1 with the single and album American Pie. Paul Simon's solo debut gives him a top 10 hit, Mother and Child Reunion. Fast forward to March, where Neil Young has a number 1 album and a number 1 single with Heart of Gold. And Deep Purple released their quintessential album Machine Head, which goes to number 1 in the UK, number 7 in the US, and features the classic hit Smoke on the Water.
Smoke on the water, a fire in the sky.
Also in March, the band America releases their debut album. It goes to number 1 and yields a number 1 single with Horse with No Name.
See, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972. Coming up.
If you missed Drew and KB, you missed out on this.
Today we welcome Steve Poles to the program. Not everybody can say they ran in a sausage race.
The Padres were playing the Brewers, and I was following the Padres around the country. Then I got to know those guys really well, so I remember I followed them up to Milwaukee, and the manager was Bruce Bochy. I had the wildest time with the Padres about a week before that in Miami, and I threw Bruce Bochy's minibar out of his hotel room window and destroyed it, and it caused $467 of damage. So Bruce Bochy sees me, and he says, "Poltzy, you owe me $467 for a minibar, and we had a meeting. You're not allowed to stay in the same hotels as us anymore." The traveling secretary banned me from staying in the same hotels.
That's awesome.
So I was in Milwaukee, and that day, Bochy says to me, "Why don't you come down and sing to the players in the dugout?" So I sang this song called 98 Pounder. And then he said, "Why don't you go out in the field and shag fly balls while Tony Gwynn takes batting practice?" So this was like Ferris Bueller's Day Off for me. I went out and I'm sitting there, and these security guards come up to me. They go, "Are you Steve Poltz?" And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Oh, they want you to come sit by Jerry Coleman while he calls the game." And Jerry Coleman was the voice of the Padres. And Jerry Coleman, legendary guy, managed the Padres a little bit and then became the voice of the Padres. So they let me sit by Jerry Coleman while he calls the game.
Oh, that's so cool.
I did that, and then Jerry Coleman was laughing. I had him smiling. He goes, "Hey, how would you like to sit next to the Uke next inning?" So he brings me in. I get to sit by Bob Uecker. I'm sitting there with Uecker. He couldn't have been kinder to me. And then a security guard comes back up. And he goes, "Hey, they want you to run the sausage races in the 7th inning." And I go, "Are you kidding me?"
What a day.
And so this truly was amazing. And Poltz becomes Polish sausage. I go out there, and out of 5 sausages,
Drew and KB are talking sports and stuff every weekday from 2 to 6, right here on The Game.
couple minutes of D&D here on the game. Doug Russell, Nick Kruzowitz, and Dave Gasper. A couple of hints on the talking section. Context is always appropriate.
Generally, yeah.
Short texts are better than long texts.
But when somebody writes in that just says, come on, fellas, context. What's context?
Is this about the dogs?
I don't know. Who's to say? Because it just says, come on, fellas. Come on, fellas, what? By the
Probably
way,
about the dogs.
Probably. I don't know. Context. Let's see. Tony Ono Creek. So shout out to their Old English sheepdog who hangs with me while I work from home and listen to you guys all day. Thank you, Tony. Bosco, the Great Pry.
Great Pyrenees, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Like I said, I have no space for most dog breeds. I just, dog is a good boy, good girl. Who's a good boy? Who's a good girl? Who was a belly rub? That's the dog. That's the only dog breed I really understand. Sammy is 16 years old from Asian Chris Solani. Thank you. She's sweet.
Such a sweet old girl.
Yeah, she's taking a little nappy there. Yovan in the 630. Our rescue Luther from Tennessee that we got last year, sleeping on the couch. Love that. Yeah. Brad from Dousman, rescue Mutt Buttercup. Shout out to Buttercup. That's what we're talking about here. So yeah.
Maple dressed as a minion.
So why do we do that? Because then you see tweets like the Secretary of State from the state of Kentucky, Michael Adams, who tweeted out today, we're getting calls about the polls being closed. Today's an election day, if you didn't know. They're closed because we do not have elections today. Kentucky votes next year. You cannot vote today in Kentucky for the mayor of New York City or the governor of Virginia. Sorry. Because that's what else the internet is for.
Yes.
Why can't I vote in Lexington today? Because you don't have an election.
Yeah. Meanwhile, here's a picture of Millie.
There's Millie.
Hanging
You
out
see
in
on
the sunshine.
on the
On the
stream.
stream, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, where you can find us every single day.
Absolutely.
I've got thousands of pictures of
Well,
her.
most people do.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People love their dogs.
Yeah.
Here, you want to see a picture of my dog?
Yeah. And most people are like, yes, absolutely, I do.
Have you ever run into somebody who doesn't want to see a picture of your dog?
No.
You run from that person.
Exactly. I've never talked to him again.
Exactly. All right. That'll about do it for our show today. We've got another one. Listen, we got another one coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, we do.
We'll look forward to it.
Yeah, we'll see if the Packers make any moves in the next hour. Trade deadline coming up. We'll talk about that.
Breaking news: Breece Hall has not been traded yet, and wants
to be, but it sounds like he might not be. So he could end up kind of being the Will Smith thing, where he's going to look around at the empty house and
they're all the new teammates all
good.
All right, Wayne Larrabee will join us tomorrow. Jim Polzini will join us on tomorrow's show, the Wednesday edition of the program as well. Nick, fantastic job. Dave, fantastic job. Listeners, fantastic job. Texters, fantastic job. Except for those problems. We'll get you back tomorrow. I promise. We'll shower up. We'll do better. See you tomorrow on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.